What's up? This is Off Ball Takes Podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Wells, and this is my co host.
Top notch.
We appreciated all the support. And for today's live stream, please don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us at the OPT Podcast for more content and updates. So we're back here. We're doing a live stream for the trade deadline. Obviously, we got a few hours left. It'll be 3 p.m. Eastern Time. A lot of trades have actually happened before then, so we might as well discuss those, while we potentially wait for some incoming trades. So I guess why don't we start with let's start with Harden and the Cavs. So let's start off with that one. So that was a big one a few days ago, right? Where Chris Mannix, I think, was the first guy to report that it could happen, where he was basically saying that the Cavs and the Clippers were going to engage in a swap, right, of James Harden and Darius Garland, point guard for the Cavs. So it was Garland and a future second round pick going to the Clippers in exchange for James Harden going to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So James Harden, no longer a Clipper, he's a Cav, which is just kind of wild. Where once again, he's on a new team. Seems like the Garland thing ran its course in Cleveland, where he's a good player. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. He was great last year, got hurt in the playoffs, has gotten hurt pretty much every postseason, unfortunately. But now if you're Cleveland, you can kind of do two things at one time, because you get back a guy who this year has been better, has been consistently more available. Also a guy who's got a questionable playoff history, right? Especially in the biggest games. But you also do save some money long term because he's got that player option, maybe only 13 years guaranteed. And then also they're trying to make these other moves to get out of the second apron. They moved off Alonzo Ball, just salary dumped him. Maybe they might move some of these other guys like a Dean Wade. So I get it, I guess, for the Cavs if you're looking at it as a win now move. And then for the Clippers, they basically pivoted. They're like, all right, this is nice that we're winning all these games, but we probably don't really have a shot to realistically contend. So we might as well just kind of rip the Band-Aid off. We don't need to pay Harden long term and just bring in a young guy, no pressure. Garland gets to lead his own team. There's probably some element of that as well, because it doesn't sound like Mitchell was super disappointed that Garland was gone. So weird, but I guess I'm okay with it for both.
You know, when I seen this trade, I'm like, first of all, before we get into the trade,
Yeah.
I miss Wolves because Shams has been awful. You're getting trades from other sources that you probably don't follow throughout the NBA season because you don't really know who they are. They don't really report anything, and then you're waiting on a trade, and it's like, bam, well, this came out 5 minutes ago, and Shams is 10 minutes late. It's like, bro, Woj would be out already in the first because Shams has been awful. Example, today, Ayo Dosunmu got traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves. It got reported by a whole nother dude that had 1,000 followers, and Shams didn't even know who he got traded for. It's like, bro, we miss Woj. But anyways, this James Harden trade is I honestly like it for the Clippers more than the Cavaliers, and I'll explain why.
Mm-hmm.
Darius Garland has his ups and downs, right? He deals with he's been dealing with a bunch of injuries. But for the Clippers, one of the things that we always been saying is they're old. So now they're getting younger. They're the oldest team in the league, right? And typically when you look at star trades, you don't get good value in return ever. When do you really see good value in trades like that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so for James Harden, the fact that you get a 26-year-old all-star when we know when he is healthy, he can hoop when he's healthy, right? So they're getting a little bit younger. It also makes sense that they didn't want to pay James Harden. James Harden is 36 years old. So why are we going to give you 2 years, another $40 million? They learned from Paul George. There's a reason why they didn't give Paul George that extra year. Because look, he's on one of the worst contracts in the league. So I like it for the Clippers, and you could still somewhat compete with Garland. You're not going to win, but you're still. This is now and the future. And then also with the Cavaliers, it's you save a lot of money in cap space. That's the key thing. You save a lot of money in cap space. It's a goal. It's a win now move. But my thing is, you brought it up before. James Harden's a joke. It's really just simple as that. That's not me being a hater. That's just watching basketball and watching James Harden in the biggest moments when you need him. he's not performing well. He's not. And so you traded for a player that think that can get you over the hump. Now it proves your roster. Yeah, it does, right? But playoffs where it matters, we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
There's still 3 hours left. I don't know if the Cavaliers make another move. I've been hearing rumbles about Jared Allen. But James Harden, Mitchell on paper, Mobley, it does look good. We'll see what happens. I think he's gonna play Rose soon, maybe this Sunday or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like. And we just seen Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis play. I think yesterday. So a risky move for the Cavaliers because what if James Harden doesn't resign?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you kind of expect that. You would think he probably would. Otherwise, why would he do it? Because I think he had like an implied no trade clause. I do want to read some of the chat, just to kind of,
Okay.
yeah, just to interact. So Miami Heat zone, Giannis better keep himself in Milwaukee. Giannis better stop all the crying. Untamed, what's up? What up, Chris? Where's Yarby? He wasn't able to do it today, so he's not going to be here. So we got Top Notch here with us. And then first off, Garland better get that toe fixed. Yeah, he's had some foot issues. And then Untamed broke a trade for us. Celtics trade Boucher. Oh, I hope it's a guard. And then without the club, Harden isn't anything. Untamed, it's okay. Braun's going to Cleveland next year on a vet min to win a cheap ring. Does he take a min though? Does he take a minimum contract? That's the only question. Like there is reporting about like Mitchell and Harden probably trying to recruit him from LA to Cleveland, but at least in terms of what you said about the Harden contract thing, I just don't think he does any of this without some type of understanding that like, yeah, we'll probably re-sign you. But I guess that communication is how he ended up leaving Philly, right? Because Daryl Morey told him to take less with the promise that he'd pay him back later so they could, bring in some better players. And then that ended up not working out. And then he wanted out of Philly, right? Because he called Daryl Morey a liar.
You know something? What if James Harden also requested a trade because he knows Kawhi Leonard's going to get suspended?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't know because we don't know what's going to happen with the aspiration thing. I mean, I it, I feel like it's probably like a money thing because I know that there was also some thing about like, well, the Clippers. Yeah, it's nice that we're winning all these games, but they don't really have a chance to win. So he's going to the Cavs with a chance to win. It's also a money factor too. Like it's not just a winning thing. It's also like the Clippers were probably not going to re-sign him to another contract after this year. Like I don't think they were. Like I think this will probably be the last year, and then once those contracts are up, then they'll move on. And like now you can kind of start anew with Garland, where it's like when he's healthy, that is a good player. It's just he's not consistently healthy. That's going to be the issue for him moving forward. But if he is healthy and he's still really good, like, do you think Cleveland will regret doing that? Because, like you said, it is risky for Cleveland just in terms of like you never see a scenario where you swap guys that are 10 years apart. I mean, like yeah, you'll see teams move on from young players to get a win now guy, but not usually a guy at this stage. Even though he had a really good season, although he hadn't been quite as good recently. I don't think.
Yeah, that's the tough part, man. Like it's kind of funny when you brought up this James Harden trade. I kind of forgot because it was so early in the trade deadline. It was
Right.
like what 2 days ago or something, and so I kind of forgot. But like this trade deadline has been one of the best ones. I'm not gonna say best because there've been better ones, but it's definitely been up there for sure. Like a lot of star players have been moved. James Harden, Giannis, Porzingis, Jaren Jackson Jr. A lot of good role players are getting moved. So good trade deadline. I'm very curious to see though, Chris,
Mm-hmm.
the buyout market. The buyout market's actually going to be very good this year. There's a lot of good vets that are going to be free agents,
Mm-hmm.
and like Lonzo Ball, his career might be over soon, but
Right.
DeMar DeRozan, you know what I mean. This dude is going to get bought now. There's no way he's staying in Sacramento. I think Zach LaVine will. You got Chris Middleton. I mean, there's a lot of pieces out here. So, you know, um, that's also interesting. But did you see the new trade that just came out? It's kind of whatever. Cole Anthony to the Suns.
Yeah, yeah, that was the one that was like right before we got on. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How you feel about that?
Well, I guess the Bucks. So we might as well talk about that, right? Because right before we got on to do the trade or to do the trade deadline stream, of course, it gets reported that Giannis is not getting moved, right? So if he's not getting moved, you would imagine the Bucks probably try to focus on the rest of the season. I don't know what else they're gonna realistically do because the thing is, really, they should tank because I mean, they have the pick swap where they get the worst of the two picks between them and New Orleans. Atlanta gets the best pick. So you would think on paper that why are you buying? Why are you, making any really good moves to potentially, make this team better? Because there's probably not a realistic shot of making this team much better. But at the same time, like you could put yourself in a position where, all right, if we get a top pick, then maybe it won't feel as bad if we move Giannis and we don't get as much back as we would expect or hope to get. So it's like it's kind of not much for me, but and also like for the Suns, you knew they were going to do something to just kind of cut money. Like Nick Richards doesn't play, right? He's a guy that doesn't really get minutes for them. They play Mark Williams, they play Iguodaro, so they save money, and that's what some teams are going to do. Where like they'll make a move, but it'll be to get under the tax or duck money or whatever it is. And then for the Bucks, like I mean, Cole Anthony's he could get bought out, or he could just be in Phoenix, like as another vetman guard that could just randomly come in, like if somebody's hurt, because they've been really good this year.
Yeah, I don't. It's it's one of those trades that I'm like, it's kind of funny because it's like it also tells me that like the Bucks weren't even on the phone with none of these teams that they say they were because they literally just made a trade right after they said Giannis is not getting traded. 2 seconds later, they make a move with the Suns and stuff like that.
Mm,
So I agree. I think the Milwaukee Bucks need a tank. I think that's the best thing. I'm
yeah.
also hearing reports that they might be shutting down Giannis for the rest of the season,
Mm-hmm.
which honestly to me, why would Giannis want that? Right? Like you feel like Giannis would want to compete. He's just wasting a year of him
Mm-hmm.
just sitting there doing nothing. And
Yeah.
that's why I think it makes no sense for Giannis to not be pushing this trade.
Yeah, and
Right?
it's
Like he knows it,
mm,
you know what I mean? It makes no sense for him not to like, yo, listen, I want to win him. Bro, you already won in Milwaukee.
yeah, and it's
What do you
funny,
complain about?
and it's funny because there was reporting about him maybe like forcing, like pressuring them into saying like I'm gonna come back and then we're gonna win some more games and then that'll mess with your pick. But for him, since he's got the calf injury, it's probably better for him to sit and just kind of just heal up and get ready for whatever his next team is, or maybe it's still Milwaukee. So, um, we might as well got a couple other comments from Untamed. How about them Wiz? And then it's okay, Ja getting moved for sure. Let's talk about the Wizards. That's another team that made a giant trade. This is the funny thing about this deadline is because we'll talk about another one. There were so many moves that nobody had any inside information about, right? Like the Wizards one, Anthony Davis going to the Washington Wizards, right? For what was it? It was like Chris Middleton and then like a some first that aren't even the Wizards first, right? It was like a future Oklahoma City first. It was like a Warriors first or
I'll tell
whatever
you
that
right
I
now.
think they got in the Jordan Poole deal. No one would have gotten mad or upset if Giannis actually demanded a trade. Yeah, we'll get into that as well. But like, yeah, that Wizards thing. I mean, they got to be one of the biggest winners at the deadline, right? They have to be because you got Trey Young for nothing, you got Anthony Davis for nothing, and you didn't have to give up any of your young players. I don't know where in the hierarchy they're going to be next season, right? Because there's still some other teams in the Eastern Conference that are going to have a better starting point. But just the fact that like now you got to use your cap space on guys where you bought low on them, it's kind of hard to really say anything negative about that at all. Like you could say quote unquote speeds up the rebuild, but it's like not really because those are guys where like, yeah, if they don't work out long term, you're not going to have to be committed to them for like 5+ years because those guys, because Trey Young probably gets like a 3-year deal. AD, if he even does get extended, he won't be making 60, 70 million. I don't think so. And then, you pair them with all those young players and you give them a little bit more direction, a little bit more stability. So like that's that's pretty good.
Yeah, I love this for Washington. And the crazy thing is, I wish Jarby was here because this is his team, but
I
they didn't
know.
trade none of their picks. None of their picks. And I think that's the key thing, right? The Wizards are going to tank this year, and they still have a chance to get a top 5 pick.
Exactly that
Um,
too.
You know what I mean? So that's the fun part of it. And then next year you come out with Trey Young,
Mm-hmm.
Trey Johnson, Kaisar George, Sar, and Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
I mean, you got some good players over there for sure. Buddy Carrington, Bilal. So that's a 7-man rotation alone. And I know I'm missing probably other players, but that top pick. So it kind of reminds me of Dallas in a sense where they drafted Cooper Flag, but they thought they were going to have a veteran team like around them, and then
Mm-hmm.
obviously the injuries happen and all that other stuff. But for Boston, it's like if they stay healthy, the young players are going to be around the veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so we just got another trade.
Okay.
Oh, this one's a really good one, by the way. Alvarado to the New York Knicks.
All right. That's
Very underrated trade.
yeah. I mean, that's a big yeah. Jose to the Knicks. Yeah, that's a big one, and that was one that had some backing behind it, where it's like the Knicks they're on an 8 game winning streak. They've pretty much helped fix their defense. In a way where it was looking pretty awful for a long stretch, and since then it's been a lot better. Jose Alvarado will add to that, right? They prior to the other night they had stopped playing Clarkson, right? And they had played Landry Shamet because he had been dealing with injuries, so he wasn't playing as much earlier in the year. So now he's back in. You get another rotational guy, Alvarado. You still got McBride. Like that's a good team. Like honestly, like no big issues with that. And then last night they had moved Yabu Sele too, right? Like because that was one where they didn't really get anything back for him, right? But we knew that was a guy that was going to get moved because he wasn't playing. I do wish that they had some type of other option at the 4 off the bench, but just that you got more toughness in defense. You can't really say anything negative about that.
So, so my thing is about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I seen this report, you can still hear me, correct?
Yeah.
So when I seen this report, I honestly didn't understand why would they go after him, because they have Tyler Kolock, they had Landry Shamet, they got Miles McBride. You know what I mean? They have
Mm-hmm.
so much guards over there. So I'm
Right.
like that's why I was kind of confused on this.
Yeah, you're frozen there. You were a little
Oh, I'm
frozen.
frozen.
Yeah, you froze.
Okay, so I didn't understand this deal because um they had so much guards over there. Even though with Clarkson being benched, they have Kolock, they got Miles McBride, they got Brunson, they got Shamet. So there's like a lot of guards over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So from Kweku Ghana, 3683, Giannis has sunk his team. Bucks get a poor return. That's the thing is that like, okay, so we know that Giannis won't get moved until the summer if he even does. But what's the real return? I mean, like we know that they turned down these deals for, and like to be honest, which deal was the best deal? I don't know cuz like I know the media was talking about and hyping up the Warriors one. I just don't feel like that was ever a good package. And obviously we'll talk about their move in a little bit too, but Jonathan Kuminga, Draymond Green, a bunch of firsts, right? And it's their own first, so you would kind of assume that, like, at least for the first stretch, they're gonna be good with Giannis. Like, I just don't really see why that was kind of looked at as like a really good package. I think that was more a media driven one because I just don't see it. Like that doesn't make any sense to me from a Bucks perspective. I mean, the only argument you make is that you just bank on it not working out, like say what OKC and the Clippers did, where it's like okay, Paul George is traded to the Clippers. They give up a bunch of picks, but it's like you don't even get back a Shea. Like Kuminga's not an SGA. I know SGA wasn't viewed in that way when he was first dealt, but I always felt like that one to me was a pipe dream.
Yo, Chris,
Yeah.
you see what I'm talking about Shams? How like Jose just got traded to the Knicks and we don't know who he got traded for?
Yeah. Chris Haynes said Dalen Terry in 2 seconds. Dalen Terry is the guy that was in the Yabu Sele deal from the
Dude.
Bulls.
So what are they gonna do with Clarkson then?
I mean, he's a minimum contract. He just may not play as much. Like I don't like you just probably don't need him as much. Because like on a team like that, a Landry Shamet is probably a little bit more useful than even though Clarkson is like a guy you could bring off the bench, get some buckets. But how much of that do you really need? Like when you have the other guys they have, but like there could always be a game where you just don't want to have to be reliant on it. Like you want him to be a guy where it's like, okay, we need some offense, let's put him in there versus like we have to have this every night from this guy or else we can't win. Because honestly, if you're the Knicks, you want to maximize as much defense as you can get, from that group. Just because, if you go with an all offense group, I mean, you might start bleeding points. I mean, the defense is kind of the big reason why they've been able to get back on track. Because it was bad during that stretch. Every game, they were getting lit up during that stretch where they lost like 9 out of 11 games?
Yeah,
And
that
now
was
they've won
pretty
8 in a
bad.
row.
Yeah.
Yeah. Untamed for Milwaukee, losing Dame, having to pay his salary for however many years, ruin the near future for Giannis. Get out now. Yeah, like the Bucks, whenever they trade Giannis, that's when it gets really dark because they don't have a lot of
I'll be right
picks.
back.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, so for now, we're not gonna have Top Notch. He's gonna do some other recording for his channel. But yeah, that's the thing is that like you trade Dame, or you trade for Dame, you give up whatever you had to get him, then you waive and stretch him to bring in Miles Turner, and now you're way over the cap, even if you move guys. And now you're just in a spot where you just don't really have a lot to work with. So, like if I'm Giannis, like I do believe that that team doesn't really have as much of a future now. Like you're pretty much in a spot where you can't really do anything. So if I'm Giannis, yeah, I would prepare to leave in the summer. I mean, I personally thought if I'm him, I would rather leave now. But at the same time, to be fair, you do have to weigh your options because the teams that could trade for him now may not be as good as some of the teams that could trade for him later. It's just not in their cards right now. They got to thug it. Yeah, like that's the thing is like everybody's just going to have to wait. So the Bucks, I'm just going to assume that he probably won't play much the rest of the way so that way they can maximize their chances of getting a good pick. Again, it's not going to be completely in their hands. They're going to have to get some lottery luck, and they can't get the number 1 pick because it's a swap with the Pelicans or the Hawks or whatever. So the best they could get is 2. And even then, they're going to have to get fortunate. So if you can get the number 2 pick and then move Giannis, okay, it's still going to not be great, but it'll be better than, the alternative where but there's also the scenario where they drop. They don't get much of anything. And then you still trade them and then you don't get much. Because I just don't see why. Like, we'll see what the deal is, but the way that I look at it is there's going to be teams that are going to be disappointed once this season is over, right? There are going to be teams that are going to go out in the first round that had higher aspirations, and then they're going to go after Giannis and say, like, okay, we don't have enough. We just don't. So now we're going to have to retool. Pell's got a player, 2 picks, and cash for Jose. Quite a haul. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing is that the Pelicans are a team that has a lot of players that teams would and should go after. It's just a matter of which of those guys are teams, or which of those guys is New Orleans okay with moving. Like Trey Murphy, that's a player that I think a lot of teams would want. Like he shouldn't necessarily be an untouchable guy, but it seems like the Pelicans are treating him like he is, right? Even a guy like a Herb Jones, the issue for him is he's been a little bit more injury prone and his jump shooting hasn't been as good, but he can defend. That's a player that could help. I know everybody's been mentioning like a Yves Missi. It's a young big that if you kind of need some option at the 5, that could be something that could be pretty helpful. So they're a team that I think has a lot of pieces, but I just don't know what they're going to do. Trey Murphy is untouchable for New Orleans, in my opinion. And that's the thing, is that if you're New Orleans, who do you view as untouchable, right? Like, is he the player that you think should be in the range of being untouchable? That's if he was in a bigger city, maybe not. That's the thing is that they don't get a lot of, they're not a team that is going to sign any superstars. So if you have a player that you value a ton, then it's like, yeah, you probably should wait until you get a big haul. But how many teams, like, will we find out after the deadline? Oh, so-and-so team offered a bunch of picks for Trey Murphy and the Pelicans said no. Because that is something that does happen sometimes, right? Where we'll sometimes hear, oh, this team could have had player X if they had given up this, but they didn't want to do it, right? You've heard that many times where it'll be like, oh, the Warriors could have had player X, but they didn't want to give up Kaminga, or they didn't want to give up, whomever, right? Pajemski. But I trade Zion for sure. And that's the other thing, right? Is that like this Pelicans team isn't good, but it seems like the Pelicans view themselves as, no, we are good. We just haven't had a fair shake this year because of injuries. And it's like Zion, he's played the second most consecutive games he's played in his career. He's played almost 30 straight games without missing any time. And that's big for him. But I don't know. That team to me at this point feels like it's ran its course. But at the same time, what are you getting back for Zion? Like, is any team giving up anything of real significance? I don't see it. I don't see a team giving up a big haul for Zion Williamson. And if you're the Pelicans, you kind of have to take what you can get. Maybe they don't want to trade him. Or maybe that could be a summer thing. I like Derek Queen, Trey, and Fears. Exactly. That is something that you got to feel okay about, where I think that the guys that they drafted are good. I like Trey Murphy. I like Derek Queen. I like Fears, but everyone else can go. Yeah, I'd pretty much say that. But I don't think that they view it that way. Like, I mean, obviously they moved Alvarado, but he's a vet. He's not really a young player. So that's the only thing that you have to look at from that perspective. But I kind of wish that they moved a bunch of these other guys. So let's see. And then according to Windhorse, the Warriors offered 4 unprotected first-round picks in their package, but the Bucks never showed much interest. I don't view that package of being that great. But yeah, I wish New Orleans did kind of blow up their team, but I guess they're also looking at it as like, we don't have our first. But then I would say, see if you can move some of these guys for, other picks. But how many of those guys can they trade that will actually get first-round picks? That's the part that I'm not sure about. So, we'll see what New Orleans does. But I would have expected them to be some type of major player, but I guess they're probably just not going to be. So it's disappointing. But what do you think about the KP trade? So perfect. So it looks like Top Notch is back. So we got another question in the comments from Untamed about the Kristaps Porzingis trade. So do we want to get into that?
Sure, let's get into it.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that one. So Jonathan Kuminga, the JK era in Golden State, is finally over, right? And it was not at all a deal that I would have expected. It was Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield for Kristaps Porzingis. No picks involved at all whatsoever. Just those 3 players. I feel like they're swinging for the fences. So I'm assuming you're talking about the Warriors when you say they're swinging for the fences. I mean, the reality is, you know me, right? Top Notch, you know that I'm somebody that has said I did not expect them to get back much for Kuminga. I guess it's more than what I would have expected. The problem with Porzingis is it's been the same problem for years, is that he can't stay healthy consistently. When he plays, he's good. So there's a world where, okay, he's healthy and he gives you rim protection, he gives you three-point shooting, the ability to post up and score on smaller guys, help you, I guess, on the boards for somewhat, maybe, even though that's not always been a strength of his, but he's never healthy. And the problem is that, honestly, now it's not even just injuries, it's illness, right? Like in Boston, he had, POTS or whatever, which pretty much has, sapped him for the most part, where he's barely played. Now, to be fair, this year, in the 17 games he's played, 17 points, 5 rebounds, a little over a block, 46 from the field, 36 from 3. But 17 games this year, 42 games last year, 57 the year before. The last time he played, he's only played 60 or more games 3 times in his career. I guess the bubble year, he played 57 games, so that was out of 70, 72. The last game KP balled was game 1 versus the Mavs in the finals. That's the tough part, is that, if this, it's 2 things. If Jimmy was healthy, and you told me you could get a somewhat healthy Porzingis, that would actually be pretty cool. But Jimmy Butler with a torn ACL, Kristaps Porzingis, we don't know his health. He's an expiring contract. Do they even bring him back? I don't know. This kind of feels like we're not really getting anything back for Kuminga. This is probably the best we can get. I'm just not going to be fooled into the idea of, they're getting him and they're going to make a serious run. I just think, this was probably the best offer they could get. Hopefully Kuminga balls out. That's going to be a weird team, where, he's going to have to play next to Jalen, Johnson, right, which they're building around. So like, is he really gonna get the opportunity to get all his shots? But like, that was never gonna be realistic anyway. So it's like, do I like it for either team? Honestly, do I? I
So uh, it's funny, Chris, because I actually really like it for Atlanta, and I'll
okay.
explain why. I explain from both perspectives. So believe it or not,
Mm-hmm.
Porzingis is the better player than Kaminga.
Oh yeah.
But like you said, the injuries, the sickness play a major problem, right?
Right.
And so if Jimmy was healthy, adding a player like Porzingis, you can definitely put the Golden State Warriors in your top 6 in the Western Conference. Do they go win the championship? I'm not going to go that far, but you never know. This is the Warriors at the end of the day, whatever, right?
Right.
But Jimmy's not there, so now Porzingis has to step up and be that second guy. We haven't seen that yet. You know what I mean? And so we don't know. He hasn't played since January 7th, so it's been a month the last
Right.
time he was on the court. But I will say when he started off with Atlanta, the first 11 games,
Yeah.
he was actually good. He was
Yes.
actually playing really, really good. And he brings the rim protection. The Warriors lack having center depth. Quentin Post has been playing a little bit better, but they didn't really have a legit center. He brings that over there. You know what I mean? Porzingis brings that, his size, the 7'2", whatever. The thing is, Jonathan Kuminga had no trade value.
Right.
So, like you said, you got to get what you got to get out this. Porzingis, another thing too, is on a expiring. So this isn't as bad as what people think. He's not on no big contract. He plays bad. Okay, cool. You can let him walk in free agency, right? You didn't trade. They didn't trade picks in this deal, correct?
No. No picks at all.
So you traded no picks, and all you did was give a Buddy Hield, who has been awful for you, Jonathan Kuminga, who demanded a trade. Um, and so I get it. You got to respect the front office for still trying to be competitive, knowing they got Curry. You still want to compete, and this gives you the chance.
Mm-hmm.
For the Hawks, end, I think Jonathan Kuminga is gonna fit perfect actually with Atlanta. Just having
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Johnson over there, Dyson Daniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Zachary Richardson. I mean, like, I think it fits it. And they're just a new team in general. Like, bro, he
Right.
needs to be on a new team. You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah.
Like, he was just wasting his career in
It's
Golden
a
State
win
at
for
this point.
Kaminga. It's a win for Kaminga.
Yeah, it's a win. It's definitely a win for Kuminga for sure. Um, so we'll see. Like, it's one of those random deals that
No
I didn't even
reporting
no
whatsoever.
reporting.
No reporting.
You know what I mean? Like, we
No.
we haven't heard nothing about this.
Yeah.
So
We
I
were
think it's
hearing
cool
more
though.
about the idea that either he would be in a Giannis deal or he wouldn't be moved at all. Like that
Yeah.
was what we heard. We never heard anything about him being in a deal for anyone else other than Giannis. And so, for him, I think that's a good start. And then Untamed said, if I'm Atlanta, I'm benching CJ. I don't think he starts anyways. I'm pretty sure he comes off the bench. Um, Starting Dyson, Nikhil, JK, JJ, Onyeka, giant athletic team or giant team, all athletic and can defend. Kaminga hadn't really played a ton of defense for the Warriors, but I would hope that, now that he's in a new situation, like now he's not going to be worried about having to get benched if he doesn't do the right things. He can just play, right? So that's kind of why it's a big win for him. So hopefully he can turn that into something. He's got the team option. So for Atlanta, and this is kind of like why you said this is cool for Atlanta. Let's say it doesn't work out, you could just decline his team option, and then he's gone. If it does work, you accept it, or you could decline it and resign it. He's capable though. Yeah, he's got all the tools to be able to defend. And, like you're playing on a different type of team, so new opportunity. I'm sure he'll be excited. I'm sure he'll be super motivated to try to prove people wrong and be like, you know what, like, see, I actually can play. Because we know he's a guy who can play on a team, right? He's not a guy who should just never play for a team. He's a guy who should be getting minutes. It just didn't work in Golden State. So I'm hopeful that it'll work out for him. So, hopefully in Atlanta he'll get a new start. That's a team now that looks like a completely different team than the one that they started with going into the season. Because that was a team that was looked at as a dark horse, right? You had Trey, you had Dyson, you had Risa Jalen Johnson with Porzingis, right? Okongwu off the bench, Nickeil Alexander-Walker off the bench. Could they be like a sneaky team that could be in the conference finals? And didn't work out. So you moved on from Trey Young. and now you bring in Kaminga, so it's different. It's a different look. So like I said, I'm hopeful that Kaminga works out in Atlanta, right? Just because, like I said, just the fact that he'll get minutes, um, and like I said, hopefully he can prove people wrong.
Yeah, I agree. So, Chris,
Yeah.
how do you feel about Luke Kennard trade?
Eh. I mean, you got a 3-point shooter, but I mean, you moved on from Gabe Vincent, but that's pretty much the only move that I expect him to make. So it's better than nothing, but at the same time, you gave up a second. You don't have any more tradable seconds, so you can't really do anything else. They have kind of been communicating to everybody that, like, hey guys, you're counting us out for Giannis. We're gonna be in the sweepstakes as well. And so that's my expectation, that, like, I don't see them doing anything else that would jeopardize their chances of getting him. I don't think that they will get him, because I just don't think that their deal is good enough, especially if you're not putting Reeves in the deal. But I guess, you're bringing in a guy that's not a defender, but I guess he can shoot threes. But it's kind of something that I'm just kind of lukewarm about. But like I said, it's better. It's an upgrade from Gabe Vincent, and that's pretty much all you can ask for. But it's just like, based off of what you were kind of thinking, you thought they were going to do more, but I told you that they weren't going to do much. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a surprise.
It's funny because I actually like the move, but
Yeah,
it's
I don't have a
unfortunate
problem with
that
it.
you have no second round picks, and second round picks you can dump contracts, and you could have possibly dumped Dalton Kinnett's contract or get him off the team with a second round pick, but it looks like that's not happening.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
think. I think they're done. I think they're like. I don't think they're making any other moves.
yeah, no, they said they're done. But it's weird because like I'm looking at Lakers Twitter, and Lakers Twitter like do not like Gabe Vincent, but then when they trade him, it's like, oh my god, like why did we trade him for Luke Kennard? Like this is a terrible deal, da da da. And it's like, bro, well, Gabe Vincent had no trade value in the first place. The dude's awful, and the fact that you got the best shooter in the league, we know he doesn't play defense, right? But he shoots 50% for the 3-point line. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah, it's
the
better than
Lakers.
nothing.
Yeah, exactly. The Lakers as a team shoot 35%. With Luka, LeBron, Reeves, your best three players, not the best 3-point shooters. Your best shooters, Rui shooting at like 42, 43%. But not at a high clip. And I don't even think Luke Kennard's 3-point attempts is at a high clip.
No,
But
he's a
throughout his
low volume
career, he's
guy.
always been yeah. And throughout his career though, he always been a good shooter though. So I think him playing with Luca and LeBron, it's gonna be solid. Like I don't think it's gonna be like, oh my god, this is a championship team,
No.
but it proves their roster. That's one of their weaknesses that they didn't have is shooting, and so you bring that in.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like, going into the season, like, I didn't even really think about 3-point shooting being like a major weakness for the team. But then you watch it, and then it's like, okay, you can kind of see like where the 3-point issues are, right? Because you are playing a lot of guys that are either kind of streaky 3-point shooters, or guys that are just not 3-point shooters at all, right? Like, like a guy like a Jared Vanderbilt, that's a guy that plays hard, but he's not a 3-point shooter. Even some of their other role players, right? Like a Marcus Smart, um, kind of a very streaky 3-point shooter, right? Where like he could either go 8 for 10 or 0 for 10, nothing in between, right? And like you said, even their best players, LeBron hasn't shot great from the three this year, but he's generally been good. But at the same time, like, you want your role players to also be able to knock down open shots. So that is something that Luke Kennard can do. But like you said, it's not a life changer. It's just something that does at least help. It's also an expiring contract, so it's like they pretty much accomplished what they wanted to do if you're Palinka, because you're thinking, I got back a player where I didn't really have to give up much, and it doesn't get in the way of the big goal for the summer, right? Which I don't think he will accomplish, but he's gonna try for whatever reason.
Yeah, I agree. Another thing too is, I just thought about this. I'm looking at the trade tracker on ESPN,
Hmm.
and it's kind of funny that Chris Paul got traded to Toronto,
Yeah, and he'll probably get waived, and
and then he got waived. Well, he's gonna get waived,
yeah,
and then like, bro, I think his career is over with.
hmm,
And then Lonzo Ball got traded,
he's gonna get
and
waived too.
they got waived too. It's like, bro, like for Lonzo Ball to be this young and getting waived, and I don't know what team picks him up at this point is kind of sad, man. But like, when I first saw Chris Paul get traded, because they didn't say nothing about him getting waived, I was like, well, they got Jamal Shed in Toronto. Like,
Right.
I don't really see why would they add him. But then it makes sense, of course. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, there's a lot of like small trades
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that are happening. Like how do you feel about Tyus Jones and Kobe White getting traded to the Hornets? Like
Um.
I'm not the biggest fan of Tyus.
Yeah, it's funny. He went from being like looked at as like the best backup point guard in the league to now he's kind of well. He was dumped to he was moved to Charlotte, right? And then like they're gonna waive Connaughton or whatever, right? And it was like seconds,
Yes.
but like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's I feel like his career is like kind of in a weird spot where I just don't think his skill set is as valued as like it could have been like a few years ago. Because he went from being like a good backup point guard to it's like he's not even really been a good backup point guard this year for Orlando. And like the argument was a big physical team that can protect him and hide him on defense. It just hasn't worked, right? And also like Anthony Black has been so good that you don't even need Tyus Jones. And like Untamed said, Trey over Tyus at this point. Yeah, Trey Jones has been better. And that was the guy that was viewed as the inferior brother at one point. But now he's been really good. He's hurt right now. But when he's played this year, he's been fantastic, right? And he's a little bit bigger, I think, a little bit better on defense, a little bit more active. I think he's a little bit more of what you would probably want than like a Tyus Jones. Like to me, once he went to Phoenix and he was the starter, like it was over because like initially he started off fine, but he's not a starting point guard and he's trending downwards to me.
Shout out to Trey Jones, by the way. Me and him talked before.
Mm,
Very cool person.
yeah.
He
Okay.
commented under my he used to comment under my videos on TikTok before, man.
Hmm.
So shout out to him, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I actually think Minnesota got the better player, right? So Minnesota was linked to Kobe White. Kobe White went to Charlotte. Ayo DeSoma went to Minnesota, which I think is a very good move for them.
Yeah.
Um, and also too, they shipped off all their guards as they should, right? They let go of Mike Conley, they let go of Rob Dillingham,
Hmm.
and they brought in Ayo DeSoma. And I think Bones Highland has been playing really well, being the first guard coming off the bench. He just had 20 points against Toronto yesterday in a big win. And so, you like to see that type of stuff. I think their bench improves. Do I think they're going to be the favorites? No, I don't. I think they needed a little bit more.
Yeah.
And they're going to keep relying on Anthony Edwards and McDaniels and Rando. But I feel like I'm all over the place. But it does get into conversation. Shea is hurt now, and those type of injuries are no joke
Right.
to come back from, Chris, right?
Right.
And so, he will be back for the playoffs, like way before for the
Yeah.
playoffs. But I'm just saying those injuries are risky, and so you never know, anything can happen, right? OKC they weren't really dealing with big injuries last year. That's why they won the championship. This year they lost. They don't have two of their best players, J Dub and Shea.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
And
they've
so
been
that
in and
that
out with
that
injuries all year, like these other guys.
yeah. But talking about OKC, this was a trade that no one talked about because Anthony Davis got traded when this trade happened. They fleeced the 76ers. I
Right.
don't care what anybody says. The Oklahoma City Thunder can trade as much picks as they want because they have them.
Right.
They can afford to do that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so the fact that you get Jared McCain, who would have easily won the Rookie of the Year if he never got hurt, and you gave up on McCain his second year in because of cap flexibility, the 76ers got a problem.
Yeah, I mean, for Oklahoma City, like that's a good move because we didn't expect them to do much of anything at the deadline, right? Cason Wallace is a sleeper though, and that's the thing. Like you can play him next to other really good defensive guards. Like you could play him next to Cason Wallace. You could play him next to Lou Dort. With Holmgren and Hartenstein, you can play in the pick and roll. He can be like a handoff guy. So like, because they need some offensive boost in terms of 3-point shooting and some shot creation. I guess AJ Mitchell can also do that. So you have a little bit more flexibility because that's kind of their Achilles heel. It's like there are games where like nobody can hit a 3-point shot, and those are the games where they're the most vulnerable, where like just everybody's just kind of cheating off their shooters, and they just brick everything. And it's not going to happen every game, but that's where Jared McCain can help, and he's on a rookie contract, right? And like you said, Last year, he was really good. He had an injury in the with the torn meniscus. Then he began this year hurt too, right? And now, as he was getting a little bit healthier, he was trending upwards. Then he got traded, so now he has an opportunity to play in Oklahoma City. So, hopefully he can kind of help energize that second unit, for some of these games. And like you said, with SGA being out and AJ Mitchell's also hurt, that could be a guy that could especially get some playing time right now because, they're going to be shorthanded at that guard spot. So, good point. Uh, we also got some news from Fred Katz, James Edwards the third, that Deuce McBride is going to undergo surgery for a sports hernia. So that probably is another reason why they got Alvarado. I'm going to assume because now, like, McBride's going to be out for a while. That's something that's not going to heal up anytime soon. So that's now you can insert Alvarado in there, and just he'll probably take McBride's minutes if I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean so now it makes sense,
Yeah,
right? That that
exactly.
that makes a lot more sense, right? Because they have so much guards over there. And stuff like that. So, Jose Alvarado is not Miles McBride. I think Miles McBride is obviously the better offensive player,
Mm-hmm.
but defensively he's pesky, right? Like him and Josh Hart's gonna remind me of like Cason Wallace and like Lou Dort. Like they're just gonna be annoying to defenders defensively and stuff like
Right.
that. So and OG and Anobi. So they're trying to prove the defensive end,
Yeah.
and Jose Alvarado he averages 8 points a game and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and like you.
we'll,
Mm-hmm.
we'll see.
Yeah, and like you mentioned with Ayo Dosunmu, like that was a great trade for Minnesota because they have very little depth off the bench. That adds another guard, shoots 45% from the three, super active on defense, good contract as well. And they gave up, what was it, Rob Dillingham, Leonard Miller, 4 second-round picks. So Rob Dillingham era in Minnesota is over, but you were able to turn him into a better guard. So I don't really have any issues with that, and that helps replace some of what you lost with Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Like you said, they still don't really have like a table setting guard to kind of help off, to kind of help things. But it does make them better, right? It makes them better than what they were because they've been kind of weird at times where they'll have stretches where they just look really rough, and then other times where they look great. I think they'll still be a tough team in the postseason. But this will help them, and either way, like when that happened, that made okay, clearly Giannis isn't happening because they probably don't do that if Giannis goes to Minnesota. They take care of everything else. So we got a comment from Untamed that said Giannis talking about coming back and trying to make the playoffs now. We'll see. They got a little ways to go because they're going to have to overcome some of these other teams in order to get there. But
Yeah,
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 that's gonna
that's not happening.
yeah. Another trade that happened that had also no inside reporting. There was a little bit about the idea that he could get moved, but not here. Jared Jackson Jr. to Utah. Utah gets Jared Jackson Jr., Jock Landale, John Conchar, Vince Williams Jr. Memphis receives Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, Georges Niang, 3 future seconds, which were like what Utah's the best between like Utah, Cleveland, Minnesota, or whatever. Then it was like a future Lakers first from like 27, and then also a future Suns first. What the heck was this one? This was another one that I didn't expect at all. Kind of crazy that Memphis
Bro,
just basically just nuked their squad from a few years ago, which you got back picks, ton of firsts, but these firsts are kind of just mediocre in my opinion.
nah, not for real. But like, and this is why like Ja Morant needs to be traded. Like, what's the point of bringing Ja Morant back to the squad after this trade? Like, okay, okay, maybe they could try to get the 10th seed with Jaren Jackson Jr. and Ja and Zach Edey coming back from injury. But there's no point in having Ja return to this team.
Right.
It doesn't make much sense to me at all. So I don't get it. But going to this Jackson trade, dude, the Jazz are going to be one of the tallest teams in the league because
Yeah.
what they're going to do is they're going to have Laurie at the 3, Jackson at the 4. Hey, Jackson don't got to play big no more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He
that's
don't got to
fair.
play big no more.
Yeah.
with
That's
Kessler.
crazy. No more Jaren Jackson Jr. at center. I guess you could do
Oh,
some small ball five stuff, but I don't know.
yeah, I mean, so then it's like, okay, so I think the reason why they did this deal is because they want to get out to the rebuild phase,
Hmm.
and they learned a lot this year. Keontae George is going to be a star player. He's been playing like a star all year.
Right.
Um, and so you already got Laurie Market. So okay, well we got two guys, and we got Walker Kessler, who we view as a very important piece. So now that's three guys. Okay, let's trade for Jaren Jackson Jr. and let's see what we can do at the lottery, right?
Hmm.
Because Walker Kessler's out for the year. Do they play Jackson a lot this year?
Right.
Probably not.
Probably. I don't
Probably.
know. Who knows?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
So I think it's kind of like the Wizards are what they're trying to do. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna be sitting Trey and Davis, so they can get that pick, and then Utah's like they're still a very bad team,
Hmm. Yeah.
so they're not gonna win much games.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a weird one to me. I mean, I guess if you're Utah, I guess like you said, you can pair him next to Walker Kessler, kind of like what Memphis did with Steven Adams and Zach Edey. But Untamed said Laurie sucks at the three. We saw in Chicago. I think he played three in Cleveland as well, right? Like he played small forward in Cleveland, and then like when he first got to Utah, he was playing small forward. He said that trade was by far the weakest blockbuster of all time. I guess like as in like if you're gonna get a surprise trade, like that's the weakest one. Is that what you're saying? Um, it's weird. It's weird. Like you said, I think Keontae George going up thousands of levels, I think probably factors into this somewhat. But like you said, they can still be bad the rest of the way and then get another good pick because their pick is top eight protected, right? So they have to finish in the bottom. If you want to keep your pick, you kind of have to stay where you are to have a good chance at keeping it, or else it goes to Oklahoma City. And then now, if you're telling me that you get that, and then you could get like Darren Peterson to go with Keontae George and like Laurie or Ace Bailey because maybe they move Laurie and Jaren Jackson and Kessler. Okay, that's pretty cool. It's not a team that I would look at as like a you know contender top tier team, but it would be a fun team. And like sometimes like that's what you got to go for. Like you don't want to just continue to be perpetually bad where you not only like don't have a lot of young talent but you don't keep or build your young talent. Like you kind of want to eventually move forward because like if you keep staying bad, especially with the lottery luck, there's no guarantee that you get better. So I don't have a problem with it for Utah. It's just weird. I don't really understand it. But like you said, if they're just gonna go big bully ball, Ace Bailey's a two guard. Like who's the guy that guards other guards? Is it George? Because he's not really like an elite defender. But I guess you're just gonna say we'll just wall up the paint, and you're not getting to the basket. I guess is the plan. It's weird.
yeah, no, it's very weird. I mean, maybe they flip Laurie Market and get more picks.
That's the
I
only
don't
thing
know,
I can
man.
think of, maybe, but they may not.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm thinking I'm like Laurie Jackson Kessler in your starting lineup. I don't know how I feel, but I started a my GM in 2K and I did the trade and I started playing with the starting lineup and I drafted Darren Peterson and I got Keontae George, Peterson,
Right.
Jackson, Laurie, and Kessler. The fit's kind of weird though. I'll be honest with you. But Chris, I have a quick question because I'm watching ESPN right now
Mm-hmm.
and they're talking about Giannis and it says there's no timetable on his return. Right
Right.
now, Giannis had two calf injuries, correct?
Yeah, this season he's had it twice, and then I don't know if it was the same one. He had that in the playoffs too, a couple years ago.
So as a team, do you think Milwaukee messed up because like Achilles injuries around? Like I don't want to sound messed up, but Achilles injuries like it's getting close. If it like you can't predict the injury, whatever. But like you keep messing with this calf and you keep playing through this calf,
Right.
something it can get worse.
That's why I
And
would
so like,
sit.
huh?
That's why I would sit if I'm him.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like it's so confusing. Like he should sit, but why would he want to sit? Because he wants to win. And why wouldn't he push the trade? Because he know he can play. I'm like so because it's like okay, like the best thing for the Bucks to do is tank That's what they need to do is tank for real, for real. But then it's like if he gets hurt again, they just lowered Giannis's trade value for the offseason.
Right.
Like they literally lowered it because he keeps getting hurt.
Yeah,
So it's like,
that's why I wouldn't play him. Like, or if I'm him, I wouldn't play. I would just sit.
but I just don't see Giannis sitting though. Like, bro, how many games are left in the year? Let me see the standings real quick. NBA. So what? There's 40. So there's like 50, 49. Just still like 40 plus games left. Giannis sits for the rest of the year, bro. That's a few months, bro.
Yeah, I mean it's February 5th. The season ends like in April, so I mean basically like 2 months.
The Lakers could offer a sign and trade of Austin and 3 first rounders and major cap relief to the Bucks for Giannis this summer to jumpstart Milwaukee's rebuild. Your thoughts? Legion just posted this.
That's from Untamed.
Bro. Yes, I'll be honest with you, Untamed. If the Milwaukee Bucks take Austin Reeves and 3 first round picks from the Lakers, the league is rigged. I don't care what anybody says. The league is rigged because
that would not be like because Reeves is really good, and 3 firsts. But I just feel like there are other teams that could offer even more. But then I guess the question is how much more would they offer? Like say if you're Houston, would you offer both Thompson and Shingun? Like that's a lot, plus picks. Um, if you're the Spurs, right, would you offer both Harper and Castle? Like I don't know, but like just that's weird. But like if you're the Lakers, like you would almost think like if you're Pelinka, it's like I'm trying to build a 3-star roster where like I'm keeping Austin, but like you said, like I don't think you like I don't think that would happen though, because like I don't think they would do a sign and trade. It just I wouldn't see that happening. Like I think it'd be much more likely if they were going to try to get him that they would just get him without putting Reeves in the deal. But then it's like you're not getting him. That's why I don't think they're getting him in the first place. So heck no,
yo,
Amen and Şengün is way too much. Yeah, like I think that's a lot. I mean, yeah, you can say it's Giannis, but like I just don't think a team is giving up like all those guys. Giannis goes to New York in the summer when they get bounced. That's what Yarby said. Yarby's in the chat.
hey, shout out to Yarby, my man. Yo, I'm hearing some stuff about the Heat trading Pascal Siakam to the Pacers trading Pascal Siakam to the Heat for Khalil Weir and Mathurin or something. Like there's a deal being talked about that right now with Tyler Hero.
Where's that from?
Bro, Jake Fisher. Yo, I'll be honest with you. Yo. If my team trades for Pascal Siakam, I'm gonna crash out. I'm gonna crash out. I'm going to crash out.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna do that. I think the Pacers, if they do anything, I think it's just more likely that they would either move Mathurin like by himself and just like swap him with somebody, or they go out and get a center, or they just do nothing.
Well, they're trying to do Khalil Ware for Mathurin, but Siakam got brought up in the trade. But if they do Mathurin for Khalil Ware, I'm gonna be upset. The Miami Heat have so many guards on their team, it's not even funny, bro.
Yeah, let's see. Miami sucks regardless. Miami Yarby said Miami sucks regardless, and Untamed said rather
Hey,
keep
hey,
Weir.
hey, listen, yo, Yarby, bro, you got washed up players on your team, brother. Stop talking to me, brother. You got washed up players, bro. Like Anthony Davis, as soon as he touches a Wizards jersey, he's gonna break his leg. Like,
Oh my
relax.
god.
And Trae Young can't play defense to save his life. And he takes the craziest shots, okay?
Yeah. 80's my guy, Yarby. You got a good one. Take good care of him.
AD's your guy, bro.
That's one of my
AD,
guys.
man. AD is some hot trash.
He's one of my guys. You take
But you
good
know
care of him.
AD's hot trash, and you know it.
I mean, I'm just glad he's out of Dallas because we the OKC of the East. What do you think?
We the OKC of the East?
Mark
No,
my
actually,
words. That's
Charlotte's
what
the
Yarby
OKC of
said.
the East, buddy. Charlotte is, buddy. Charlotte got a squad. Charlotte's gonna have to win a first round matchup. How much you want to bet? I bet you Charlotte's gonna win your first round matchup. Like literally, they're gonna go to the playoffs. They're gonna win their playing tournament. They're gonna win the first round matchup.
Against Detroit?
They're gonna get that 7 seed.
Who's the 2 seed right now? New York or Boston?
New York.
I don't know.
Watch.
That's a tough one.
Watch.
Dallas fans sounds well because the thing is that like I think for Dallas, like the reason why I wanted him out of Dallas is just because I just feel like with all the stuff that happened because of the Luka trade, it was never gonna be enough. Like it just was not. So it's like I when he's healthy, he's awesome. So I'm hoping he can be healthy. Because he has had a lot of injuries. Obviously, I don't think he'll play the rest of the season. So you preserve him. You got another big next to him that can shoot in SAR. So that's my hope. My hope is that he can stay healthy. And hopefully prove some of these people wrong because he's a champ. And he was a big part of a championship team. But I'm hopeful that his body hasn't failed him just yet. Because when he plays,
Yarby.
he's really
It
good.
says Yarby's in his ninth dream. LOL OKC of the East is crazy. Yeah, bro. Listen, Charlotte is building a core. But they got mad draft picks. They got good young players. Um, you know what I mean. So, and actually, they already have proven players over there, buddy. What proven player you got over there besides Star? You could say Kyson George, but like he just started to break out this year. Trey Johnson started to play good. Like they got proven players. Brandon Miller is a proven player. Con Kneppel is the best shooter in the draft. You know what I mean? Like LaMelo Ball's who LaMelo Ball, bro. They got proven players. You ain't got proven players yet, brother.
Said I'm just joking. I want to see them healthy. Yeah, he's been funny, but yeah, like take care of AD for us. So I guess what other deals I guess do we want to mention? What do we think of the Detroit Pistons bringing in Kevin Herter and Dario Saric in a 2026 first round swap for they basically moved Jaden Ivey to Chicago, Mike Conley moved to Chicago and then went over to Charlotte. So what do we think of Detroit basically getting out of the Jaden Ivey business?
Um, so I watch a lot of clips on Twitter, but Twitter also doesn't really help. Like Twitter will make a player look bad when the player's not looking like he doesn't need to. But
Mm-hmm.
I see some clips of him on the bench. He wasn't celebrating with his teammates. You know, kind of the vibe and energy was pretty bad. So they had to get rid of him. The one of the weaknesses Detroit has is shooting. So bringing in Kevin Herter um, is a good pickup
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Can space out the floor. Because you can have Cade, drive to the rim, kick out Kevin Herter for three, whatever. And Jaden Ivey just couldn't stay healthy. That also plays a part as well. Dario Sarge is a waste of a trade. This dude is always a part of some trade. He's just always a part of a trade. Somehow he always lands back in the NBA and he plays for a team. And it's funny because Dario Sarge will play like the first 7 games and then the team will realize, well, this dude sucks. And then he'll get benched and never play again. And then he'll get traded. And the team will start playing him again for 7 games to get benched and traded. Like this dude, I don't think he has a house. I think he just lives in hotels and rent stuff because he could never stay on a consistent team
Mm-hmm.
ever. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I like the move, just adding more shooting for the Pistons. The Pistons never needed to make a big move. They did what they're doing right now is with what they got. They don't need to change it up and trade for Michael Porter or do anything like that. So I like it. And
Yeah.
it's also funny too.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Porter Jr. was a big trade target, bro. We haven't heard one thing about him this
Nope.
whole deadline.
He's been
One thing about him, and
no.
I was just thinking about that. I'm like, yo, like you at least hear like reports and rumors, bro. All up to trade deadline, reports, rumors.
Yep.
I need 2 first round, 3. You have yet to hear one. No one has been bringing him up. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yarby said, or Untamed said Charlotte is good talent, but that organization is like the kiddie pool of the NBA. Well, now that Jordan's not the majority owner, I think that's changing. And then Yarby said, fine with that. Sucks that he couldn't be healthy. And Yarby, he's right. We did talk. He and I talked about this this was like at least a couple years ago. Before Detroit was really good, where we were like, we kind of like Cade and Duran together more than Cade and Ivy. But last year, Ivy figured it out. He was really good as a catch and shoot 3-point guy, like 40%, playing great next to Cade as like a secondary creator. Then he gets hurt, just hasn't been the same. So it kind of sucks that like you're kind of selling low. Like now you're moving him when his value is at its lowest. But I think, and Kevin Herter hasn't had like a great year either, but he could at least maybe replace like a Malik Beasley or Tim Hardaway Jr. from last year. You know what I mean? So like you get 3-point shooting, like you said, Detroit doesn't have to do anything crazy. But it is funny how like MPJ went from like one of the targets at the deadline to being a guy where like he may not get moved at all. And I was kind of skeptical that he'd get moved, but he just may not be moved at all. Darius Sard's the type of player we've known for 20 years, but we don't know what team he's been on.
He's just so bad.
Yeah.
Yo, Chris.
Mhm.
So this is a reliable source. He works with the Lakers. I'm sure you know him, Dave McNe. Not well, ESPN writer,
Yeah.
Dave McNemany.
Yeah, McMenamin.
He goes, the Lakers are still looking at several options around the margins, options to enhance the roster with 2 hours to go at the deadline. Sources told ESPN one major caveat is that the Lakers is steadfast in maintaining their projected $60 million in cap space for this summer.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, to me, it's like, bro, free agency doesn't even exist. So what they going to go after? Peyton
I
Watson?
know. And the thing is, you tell me the last time a restricted free agent was picked up by another team. You can't do it. Like the last
you
time.
don't.
When was the last time that happened? That might have been like years ago, right?
Look what
Usually they
happened
go
to
back.
Kaminga, bro.
Huh?
Look what happened to Kaminga. Kaminga never wanted to sign the Warriors, but he knew he had to get his money, and
Right.
no other team was willing, and no other team could afford to sign him.
Right.
Straight up.
And they didn't want to sign him straight up.
So
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's the thing. Like I said, I'm not buying that they're doing anything else the rest of the way. Like I'm not falling for it. But yeah, the Kevin Herter thing. If he can get back to what he was, I mean, I guess that can help them. It gives them 3-point shooting because they had it last year. You had Hardaway, you had Beasley, so now you get Herter. I just am kind of fearful about come playoff time where Cade's like your lone, really good ball handler creator. I'm a little nervous about that. But I guess getting 3-point shooting will help because then you can't just completely double up on him and just leave a bunch of guys open. But, how much are those guys going to play? I don't know. But like you said, it's probably better than just like completely splurging. But it is weird because you do kind of wonder, like, could they have gone after an MPJ? But like you said, it's been quiet. Nobody said anything about him. And that's why I think he may just not get moved. If you're Brooklyn, I guess you just roll with him, and then just roll with whatever pick you get, then try to compete next year. Because like it's just funny, it's like Cam Johnson last year, where everybody was like that guy's a lock to get moved, and then he doesn't get moved, and then he gets moved for MPJ.
Yo, I have a question. Why is Ramon Shelburne and the big dude? I forgot the dude's name. He's the big Brian Windhorst. Why are they the only two reporters that talk about the Lakers? You ever notice that? Like they don't even work for the Lakers, but they always report Lakers sources. Like reporting to the.
I think Shelburne used to work for the Lakers or something, or I think she used to be connected with the Lakers or like connected with Jeannie Buss. I don't think she works like with them anymore, but I think that was the connection. Windhorst, I guess, just because of LeBron in the past, I guess.
And they always report Lakers stuff.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. But I think Shelburne used to do stuff with the Lakers in the past.
So another good thing that we could talk about is the Chicago Bulls. What the hell are they doing with their guards? No, it's like seriously, bro. Because like they traded guards but added more guards.
Yeah.
So I don't like they got Josh Giddey. They just signed Mac McClung to a contract. Jaden Ivey, Trey Jones, Anthony Simons, Colin Sexton, and Rob Dillingham. They have 7 guards. What are they doing?
Hoarding second-round picks. Memphis wants a first for John. They're not budging. They work for LeBron. But yeah, the Bulls. Yeah, so they got the Simons one. They got that from Vucevic, right? Like they swapped Vucevic and Simons. What do you think about that one?
It's funny because that trade happened so long ago. It feels like, honestly, Celtics fans are kind of upset that they traded Simons.
That's what I've seen.
Yeah. But Vooch has actually been really good this year for Chicago. He actually has. I also think he fits the style of play of Boston. It reminds me of Porzingis, Al Horford's, right? Like they like to space out the floor, and he brings that. Not a great defender, and not but then again, like Cade have been really good, guards have been really good. And one thing that I noticed about Joe Mazzulla, he always gets the best out of his players. You know what I mean? Like they've been playing well. They're
Yeah,
tied for second, or one game behind second for a
yeah.
reason. So I like the move. He's also on an expiring contract. So is Simons,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you pick up a need that you needed.
Yeah.
You replace a bench piece. Um, that makes your bench a little bit worse, right? Because it's like Vooch. I mean, Vooch is not going to go to the bench, and he's going to start, and then you put Kata on your bench, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have that score that comes off like Simons did.
Yeah, it's a different look. It's a different look.
Yeah, it's a different look. I mean, I like it. It is what it is, right? Like he don't play well, well, let him walk. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And for the Bulls, it's like I actually really don't know what the Bulls are doing at this point. Like I like the Jaden Ivey trade. Like I do like that. If he's fully healthy, I think you got something out of him. But so what are you supposed to do with all these other guards though? Like seriously, like are they gonna all get playing time? Like
I mean, they
Rob
almost
Dillingham,
have to.
Colin Sexton,
They,
like
they almost have
Colin
to.
Sexton. That's what I'm saying. But it's like, but how are you playing Rob and Sexton and Trey and Ivy and Simons? How are you playing all those guards?
Well, it's weird because like you almost feel like one of them has to get moved. They already moved Dosunmu, but like you said, they brought back another guard, and then they moved Vucevic, brought back another guard. Yeah, you said are they on 1 year deals? That's the thing. Is like there are some of them are on like I think they like Simons is in the last year of his deal, right? Um, Conley they moved already, right? They moved Kobe White as well, and they brought back Sexton. I think Sexton does he have 1 year left or does he have
I think
two?
he's on expiring. No, he's on. I
He's
think
an
he's on
expiring,
expiring.
so that's part of it. It's just weird, but like, so I think that's part of it. Some of them are on 1 year deals, but like, they waived Conley or no? No, they were able to trade him to Charlotte. They were able to move him with Kobe White to Charlotte. That's how they got back Colin Sexton in Chicago. And that's why a lot of people think that there's a chance that Conley could get bought out and go back to Minnesota because if he had just gotten moved to Chicago and gotten bought out, he'd have to wait a whole year to go back. But because he was traded to another team, he can go back to Minnesota if he were to get bought out. Yeah, exactly. There's so many things that have happened that some of it's kind of hard to keep track of, just because every day there's been a lot of stuff that's happened, including stuff that again nobody expected. Nobody expected half the moves that happened to happen. Like before the Wizards AD one, that's another one nobody had any reporting on. Like because right before that it was like Jake Fisher saying the Wizards might get Sabonis, right? Or that Toronto might want Anthony Davis. Nothing about the Wizards going after Anthony Davis. I mean, I'd take AD over Sabonis if I'm Washington. So I would be happy about that. But like still, like it's just that kind of stuff that's just kind of funny. So according to Jake Fisher, the Pacers are zeroing in on bigs with Zubac and Daniel Gafford remaining Indiana's leading targets to pair with Hallie. That would be dope if he gets bought out and goes back to Mini, and that give him a guard. Just he's an older guy.
So I actually want Sexton to get bought. No,
Will he though?
I want him to.
Where do you want him to go?
The Miami Heat.
What's their guard situation? They got Hero, they got Powell, they got Mitchell.
No. We don't got Tyler Hero.
You don't have him? Oh, he's still hurt. He's still hurt, right?
Bro, he played 11 games this year, bro.
Okay, all right. So he's still hurt. The guy they
So,
drafted, the rookie, they still got him,
so
right? Yakasionis.
yeah, we got him and Norman Powell and Drew Smith and Davion. Colin Sexton is better than every single player that I just named.
Fair enough. I've always liked Colin Sexton, but I don't. Yeah, we won't know about the buyout market until a little bit later. I think March 1st is the deadline, and like, but after the deadline, if you're not getting moved, then you're either staying or you're getting bought out. So we'll probably hear not too long after the deadline. Some guys will probably get waived, and then probably be
Well,
a minute.
as soon as the trade deadline's over, like probably like 10 minutes after, an hour later, you're gonna see people getting bought out, released, waived, whatever.
Right.
It happens all the time, and then then like the star players take time to get signed. Like if DeRozan gets bought out, it's probably gonna take time to get signed. Lonzo Ball might find a new home in a week or so. Who knows? But like, after like what time is it? It's 1:30, so like there's like an hour and 30 minutes left in this trade deadline. You know, any big trades that you got going before it's over?
I mean, the only other stuff that's left because we know Giannis isn't going anywhere at this point. Uh, So, I mean, really, to be honest, most of the other stuff I would expect would be small deals. I mean, clearly, if people are saying that Indiana is looking for a center, that would be my guess as to probably what like the next type of move that could happen is. I don't know if they'll get Zubac because I don't know what the Clippers plan to do the rest of this year. Because that's clearly the player that the Pacers want. I think they would rather have him over Gafford, especially because Zubac's contract is really good. I mean, he makes about, I think he either makes the same or maybe even a little bit less than Gafford, and he's definitely the better player. Someone's gonna bite on Ja. I hope that's the other one, but like you said, it's weird because why do all this other stuff just to not trade Ja and like just leave him as the lone figure on the team after you blew the rest of it up? And you can make the case that like, okay, they got back what they wanted out of Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. So now it doesn't hurt as bad if you don't get much back for Ja. But who else is trading for him? Because the Kings reportedly were interested, even though they said they weren't. But Ja's like, I don't want to go there, which I mean I understand. So those are probably the only other ones I can think of. If we're talking about like quote unquote significant ones, but I don't know if Zubac will be traded. But I would think the Pacers would go after a big, and then Ja. We got an hour and a half left. So other than that, what are the other big moves?
Well, at this point, let's just go outside the bubble because a lot of these trades were outside the bubble. Like a lot of
Right.
like
Yeah, we have to come up with stuff on our own.
yeah, because like Jaren Jackson to Utah was never reported. Porzingis to Warriors never reported. Um,
AD
like
was
all these
never
other
reported either.
AD was never reported. I honestly thought AD was going to stay with the Wizards. The way like if you notice like near the trade deadline, no one talked about AD. They're like, oh well, it's just it looks like he's going to stay. But
Mm-hmm.
I think Zubac gets traded to the Pacers. Remember, the Pacers picked up but the thing is the Pacers do not want to trade their first round pick because they're still tanking. That's the
Right.
thing. You do not want to trade your first round pick because it'll make no sense to do that. The Clippers are asking for several firsts for Zubac. The reason why the deal probably hasn't get done is because the Clippers are like, yo, give me your first. And the
Mm-hmm.
Pacers are like, no. Then if anything, Daniel Gafford should honestly really be with the Pacers at this point. Like, I don't know how he hasn't got traded. Like his deal is not that much. Like, you know what I mean? Like to get a trade. But let's see. So I'm gonna be delusional. I think Ja Morant gets traded to the Miami Heat at 245.
Okay.
Um,
So
DeMar DeRozan gets bought out.
okay.
Uh,
Doesn't he have another year left, or is it like it's semi guaranteed but not all of it?
I think he's done after this.
Okay, because I thought because I let's see because on Spot Track we can look at the Kings.
Maybe look at that. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think he has another year left, but I think the difference is not all guaranteed. I think only part of it is guaranteed. Yeah, looking at the
Also, he does have another deal left. Okay,
yeah,
so yeah, he has
it's
1 year left.
25 million next year, but not all of it's guaranteed. Only part of it. It's like 10 million or something like that. So
But there's no. The thing is, of why I think something happens with him is because they there's no space for him.
right, like what's the point?
Like literally, like if you think about it, it's like okay, you got DeAndre Hunter and Keegan Murray, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Sabonis. So you're not trading LaVine, you're not trading Sabonis. So what's happening with DeRozan? So you know what I mean? Like there's no space
Right.
for him to even play because the Kings are worried about their future right now. It's like okay, well we want Hunter and Keegan
Mm-hmm.
as our forwards heading into this season and next year. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's weird. The Bucks posted on their socials a yawning emoji. That's pretty funny. Wow. Yeah, they just posted a yawning emoji on their on their X page. Sacramento's in purgatory. Well, it's purgatory in the sense of like their young players are like just meh. That could hopefully change, I guess, for them if they get like a top pick. Because, they're not quite as screwed as maybe some of these other teams where like they don't even have their picks. But they're in a rough spot because literally a few years ago, the first year we did this podcast, the Kings were a playoff team, right? It's the only time they made the playoffs in like what, 20 years? or however long it's been. And then after that, just went completely downhill, right? Like then they had some injuries, and then they went too far, and then they got DeRozan, and then obviously Fox left. He left a sinking ship. He went to the Spurs, greener pastures, and then they got Levine, and now they're in a ugly spot where they're probably going to be bad for a while again. Because just getting the top pick isn't going to change your life right away. Like it's going to take a while. So like they're going to have to do more. Some of their young players I'm okay with. Like I like Renaud, but like at the same time, like none of these guys are good enough right now to help lift you out of your hole. So like Purgatory, that's kind of a decent spot. And I don't know what they're going to do in terms of the jaw thing. So according to Michael Scotto, he mentioned that Haywood Highsmith, because he was waived, right? He's drawing interest from several playoff teams. He's healthy. He's playing 5-on-5 and was set to make his debut February 11th following meniscus surgery. Believe he was on your team for a while. Like, do you think he's a guy that can actually help other playoff teams? Like, do you think he can bounce back from his meniscus? Like, was he like a crazy was he like a super athletic player, or is he more just like, the idea is better than what he actually is? What do you think?
Very good defender. He has improved his shot over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, coming back from injury, I don't think he's going to be the same player.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I
Right.
do think it would be a great fit for the Lakers. The Lakers actually saved about $500K trading Gabe Vincent, so they have wiggle room to sign a buyout market player.
Yeah. Do you think he goes
Uh,
there? Because he could go anywhere.
I'm just thinking of like position and needs, and the Lakers desperately need help defensively. Um, the Knicks, I don't see it. They just imagine he returns back to Miami.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess he could go back there, but I mean, if he's drawing interest from, because they didn't mention any teams, they just said several playoff teams, so that could be anybody. It could be like, that could
Yeah,
be you could range from OKC all the way down to like what?
that's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah,
That literally, like,
that's like anybody. That's like half the league. So
yeah, that's a very bad report, honestly, because like I don't, I have no clue who he goes to. I'm looking at the standings, and I'm like, okay, Cleveland, like I don't, maybe Celtics, maybe I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one. Yeah, and Sham said that the Bucks were never serious about trading Giannis, and they feel that they can build a contender around him this summer. So you're telling me that there's a chance that he could just stay if they build a good team? What's the pathway though? What's the pathway? Like if you're the Bucks,
Trading for Ja.
yeah, like what's the you think trading for Ja?
Yeah.
All right, so what's the deal? Is it like
What's
Kuz
the
and
deal, Kyle Kuzma?
yeah, like Bobby Portis and Kyle Kuzma for Ja?
Yeah.
That's funny. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I guess the Bucks will keep trying, and if Giannis never requests that trade, it's weird. It gets kind of strange. So give me a break. He already said, "Give me a break." You heard it. That's straight from Shams. Yeah, I heard Ja to Bucks too. Is that like an actual thing that's gonna happen? I know that there's like rumors about them going after him. Ja does not make the, but like that's not like an official thing that's happened yet, right?
I know, but they're trying to get him though.
They're trying to get him. Ja does not make that team serious. Let's be honest. I'm not
He
saying it's
doesn't,
gonna
but
work. I'm giving them the amen treatment. Just putting the center on Ja, just kind of forcing them to just try to cook up. That's funny. Yeah, that is weird. How that was not a thing that anybody really said in terms of guarding Thompson, and now you're just hearing that. Not official, no, just talks. That's what I thought. Um, that is something that's kind of interesting though, where it's like now for Thompson, that is what teams are doing now, and that's something that probably, well, it's not probably, it will continue. Because he's just not a great outside shooter. To be nice, to be generous.
you know who should be traded to? Klay Thompson. Why the hell has he not been traded yet?
Well, I mean, what's well, I mean, like he's a guy that could help out any team. I just don't know what the deal is because his contract isn't that big, so it's not like he's making the money he used to make. because he makes this year 16 million. So that's a pretty good deal. Where like that's a movable contract. I just don't know who's doing it. You know,
The Warriors.
I think they're pretty much done with their moves though. Like what is it like? 'Cause they don't even have a deal that matches that because they're both first apron teams, so they can't take more money back than they send out, and they don't have a $16 million contract. The closest is Moody. He's at 11 and a half. So they can't
That'll
even
be
do
good
it.
for. Yeah, nah, facts.
Yeah, they can, and I don't. Yeah, they can't even do that. I don't think. And the Mavs are a first apron team too, right? Unless that's changed with the AD trade, but I don't think it has because Middleton makes like 30 something million. So, and they also got back the other salaries, right? Which aren't a lot, but like it still puts them like in the 40 plus range. So, but yeah, we'll see. So that came from Jake Fisher. So is that where the Josh stuff with the Bucks came from?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's another guy I guess that tends to be plugged in at times. So, do you think it happens though?
I hope he gets traded to Miami, dude. It's like if he gets traded to the Bucks, bro, I'm gonna be so mad. I don't think it happens, but like
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be so upset. But then again, it's like the Bucks are gonna be more aggressive than other teams because at the end of the day, they're still trying to keep Giannis.
Right. Yeah, it's just weird. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just, I mean, I get that like as long as you have Giannis, like you're gonna do whatever it takes, but like that's just. I mean, I guess it's like it's desperation, but I mean, can that really save your season at this point? Like, I just, I
Yeah, it's goofy, man. I mean, like they think John Moran and Ryan Rollins is gonna get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, I guess their argument, the only argument that they would really make is we're in the East, and statistically we're not that far off. If we get into the playoffs with Giannis and like a decent squad, we have a chance. But that thought process has not worked the last few years, anyways, right? And like, yeah, a couple of those postseason runs, he was hurt, but it's not enough to just have like your best player anymore. You have to have a real roster with depth, and players that fit together and make sense. It's not enough, like I said, to just have your superstar anymore. Like that's something that we've learned in recent years. That doesn't work.
I still think the Kyle Kuzma trade last year was the worst trade ever.
That was Middleton, though, right? Yeah, it was like yeah. I mean, I guess they had to do it, but it's also like Middleton is not the same player anymore. But it's not like Kuzma's been great for the Bucks either. That's the tough part.
Look at
Like,
Middleton just got you though.
you saw what?
Look what Middleton just got the Wizards.
Good point. Yeah, good point. I
Like they just got Anthony Davis off Middleton, and CJ McCollum just got Trey Young. They got bro. They traded two expirants and two big contracts for Trey Young and Anthony Davis.
but the only issue is that the Bucks didn't have the first to give up, though. The Wizards did.
Yeah, because the Bucks front office management's dumb.
Yeah, it is wild because that guy at one time was considered like to be a really good GM, but just in the last few years, like nothing that they've done has worked out. I mean, pretty much anything in every move that they,
Nothing. The
yeah,
only thing that worked out for them is getting Ryan Rollins off
yeah,
a trade that no one even knew about him, and then he just turned into something, bro.
right, yeah, that's pretty much it. Because even like their other young players, like the guys that they've drafted, they haven't really panned out either, right? Like who was it? Andre Jackson, AJ Johnson.
They're
Um,
just trash.
yeah, there's the big or whatever, Tyler Smith or whatever his name is, I think, right? Like none of those guys have panned out at all. I mean, it's been pretty rough. Like so when you don't have young players that have panned out and you don't have picks and the picks you gave up like didn't really turn into anything, like that's just a horrible combination. Like that's part of why they are where they're at right now with not really much of a way to get out. So, I guess they could try to get Ja, see if that works out, but imagine if like they do that and then Giannis leaves anyway, and then if you're Ja, you're just stuck in Milwaukee.
Yeah. So it was just reported that the Miami Heat offered anything They offered everything and everything to Giannis,
I
and
believe
the
it.
Bucks just, yep, the Bucks just said no, we don't really want to trade him.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, I think that most of the teams that had a chance to trade for Giannis at the deadline offered as much as they could. But I just think the reality was like I think that there are other teams that will have better offers in the summer. Now, some of these other teams can say Milwaukee wasn't really serious, and maybe that's true too. But just in general, I think like a lot of these deals were tough. I just don't know why the thought process was that the Warriors had the best offer. Like in my opinion, I just maybe that was the argument for the deadline. I think that's what it was, but I don't know. Maybe I'd make a bad GM, but I don't think that offer would have been good at all. I think if you're the Bucks and you did that, you'd be laughed out of the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's just I don't know. But yeah, like you have to kind of offer whatever you can to go and get Giannis, but it's if he's not getting moved until the summer, I mean, there's not really much you can do. I mean, you tried, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, let's see if there's any other trades that we didn't really get to talk to about
yeah,
yet.
we can talk about some of the other ones because I think there were some. I mean, I guess we can mention the three teamer with. I mean, we kind of mentioned Chris Paul, like we already said he was getting waived. Ochai Agbaji going to Brooklyn. I mean, he's a guy that I liked coming out of the draft. He just hasn't really done a whole lot. So you know that's something that's like. I mean, I guess I can eat my words on it. It's not like I ever thought he'd be great. It's just I thought he'd be a little bit more of a difference maker than what he's been. He just barely. He's just not much. He's not done much of anything. And I don't know where Chris Paul goes if he even goes anywhere.
Yo, OJ is so trash, bro.
Yeah, that was
He's
a guy
just,
that I liked coming out of the draft, and he looked kind of
he's just
promising initially, but he's not done anything honestly. He could be one of those guys where like a team takes a chance on him, thinks, and like maybe you could turn him into like a physical wing, but I don't know. It feels like it just may not work out with him. Mark Stein said Amari Williams is signed to a 2-year, $2.7 million deal with the Celtics. Right, that's the young guy, the young big that's been playing a little bit more recently.
yep.
Yeah, exactly. So, uh,
It
um,
says ESPN NBA trade deadline special has a Shams cam, bro. I don't care about Shams, dude. Shams is terrible, bro. Like, dude, it's just like I don't, bro. He can't. He doesn't know how to report stuff. It's like Io DeSomo has been traded to Timbers. Okay, for what? 10 minutes later, oh, Rob Dillingham. Why are you telling us 10 minutes later? You are the reporter. You should know the trade.
he's back to the bench now. Oh, okay, he's back to the bench now. Yeah, because I remember I thought I saw him at different points playing because I remember him in the draft. Uh, I mean, I guess Shams he broke. I guess he broke the Luca one, right? Like that one kind of came out of that was like the big one that came out of nowhere. Uh, but it is. I don't know. I can't say a whole lot about him because I don't know him, but. But it is kind of funny. The reporting stuff though, like in terms of it coming in waves, I feel like that's kind of a normal thing. Like even in the draft, right? It'll be like so and so is getting traded to this other team. What's your guys' favorite moves? Um, Honestly, the Wizards one is one of my favorite ones. Like in terms of like AD going there, just because it came out of nowhere and I actually like it. Um, the Cleveland Clippers one, I kind of like. So that would probably be my second favorite one. So those would probably be my two favorites. Like so I'd say like 80 to the Wizards and then like the Garland Harden swap. I'd say those are probably my two favorites. If you're asking me like a non-star related one, then I'd say like Io to Minnesota.
Yeah, mine would be Jeremy Kane's OKC, Io to Minnesota, um, Harden to Cleveland. Even though I'm like not the biggest against I'm not the biggest on that trade, but I'm looking forward to see how it works out. And then I like Vooch to the Celtics.
Yeah, so there you go. So those are our favorite moves. I think the Wizards move proved how little people watch or know about that team. Best trade was Powell for Kwame. Oh man, you talk about historical. Um, I think the Wizards move proved how little people watch or know about that team. Yeah, I agree with that. And like that's also kind of one of the things like that Top Notch mentioned in terms of like the reporting, because the initial reporting was it was like AD for a bunch of firsts, so everybody's thinking that it's just a bunch of future Wizards firsts. Um, but it wasn't, right? Like it was the other first, like one of them was like the one they got back for Poole or whatever, right? And then it was like an OKC first or whatever, right? So that was part of it. And then, like you said, everybody's kind of talking about like some of the other pieces where it's like, I think you're right. Like, I think people just don't really watch that team a whole lot. So they don't, because people are saying we went all in. And it's like, no, they bought low. What did they give up? They gave up McCollum and Middleton. Those were two guys that we talked about many times. We didn't know if those guys were being traded at all. We thought McCollum might, and he did, but not back for Trae Young. And then Middleton, we thought wasn't getting moved at all. We're like, that guy's a buyout guy for sure. There's no way they move him. I didn't know going all in was. Yeah, exactly. Because think about it this way. Because you know this. Like, because we talked about it. They had a bunch of cap space. But like we talked about, like with the route the Lakers are going with, just having cap space doesn't mean anything. You have to find a way to use it. And they're a team that we know doesn't get free agents. So what's the next best thing? You could either overpay, to bring in some vets, maybe like what Houston did a few years ago, or you go out and trade for some guys. So what did the Wizards do? They bought low. Bought low on Trae Young, bought low on Anthony Davis. What do you have to lose? If it doesn't work out, you don't re-sign them to, you're not signing them to long-term extensions. And if it does work out, you got a really good team where those guys can easily mesh with those young players. They're not going to take away from any of the players that they have right now. They would be more additive, right? Like you don't have to ask George or Trey Johnson into playing point guard. Like they can play off those guys. You don't have to ask Sarr to be like your only source of rim protection on a team that doesn't have, a bunch of other crazy athletic bigs, right? Like it's additive. So I think that's part of it. Like it's just a team that a lot of people don't watch. They just didn't really know. So like I don't know how you could dislike this if you're a Wizards fan.
You want to hear a fun fact?
What's up?
The Pacers and the Miami Heat are the only teams that haven't made a move in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, you're right. Because the Heat haven't made a trade, and then the Pacers haven't. Like I'm still thinking that the Pacers try to go out and get one of these bigs, but you would almost think that it'd already be done by now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, Gafford's not a big trade, bro. Like Gafford's not a big. Zubac is a big trade, but Gafford, like, there's no way that trade's not done yet.
I mean, they may.
It also.
They may just not like the whatever Dallas is asking for. Who knows?
So Mark J. Spears has reported the Warriors are still working on some things that are not done yet.
Okay.
How do you feel about
it? I'm curious as to what that would be. I mean, could they reroute Porzingis? Like you can't aggregate him, but could you, put him in a deal and just flip him for something else? Could you move Moody? What's the move?
They got to move. They got to move Pause, bro. Pause is trash.
Well, because I'm trying to think. They did that other move where they moved Trace Jackson Davis, right? They basically like just dumped him to Toronto, right? Yeah. I think that helps free up some cap space or whatever, or it cuts their tax or whatever. I forgot Kyrie was on the Mavs. Imagine they trade him. I don't think they trade him. I think he just stays in Dallas.
Oh, so we finally got a trade.
All right,
nothing crazy. So the Denver Nuggets are trading Hunter Tyson and a 2032 second-round pick to the Brooklyn Nets.
All right, that's what I thought.
Lesser favorable of a Clippers-Hawks 2026. Denver creates an open roster spot for a buyout on buyout market and gets out of the luxury tax.
Yeah. So that's exactly. That's the type of deal that I thought Denver would make, where they're moving a salary to get out of the tax. Like that's the only type of move I expect them to make. I didn't expect them to make a trade to bring in guys because I think like their argument is just going to be we've been insanely injured, so our deadline acquisitions are going to be all the guys that end up coming back, and then like you said, maybe they get a guy in the buyout market. Maybe they get Highsmith. I don't know. I would think that they could probably use like another backup ball handler, so it's not just Bruce Brown as your only lone backup point guard. I mean, I guess you got Pickett, but I mean,
you want to hear a hot take?
What?
I got them throwing away Cam Johnson's contract to bring back Peyton Watson.
Shams heard you, bro. He sent the whole trade. That's funny. Oh, he's saying they heard you top notches and like they sent like there were no other extra things that they had to put out in the second tweet. They just put it all in one tweet. So you think that they trade Cam Johnson to keep Peyton Watson?
Yep, because they already screwed up paying Christian Brown, and Peyton Watson is better than Cam Johnson at this point.
Yeah, the only thing is Watson gonna be out for a while? Because I saw that he got hurt in the Knicks game. Because I saw when he hurt his hamstring or whatever.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean I don't know if he's gonna be out for like a long time. It's just it looked he didn't come back in the game, so I don't know.
Well, either way, Cam Johnson been a disappointment.
He's just been hurt, and Peyton's way better than Cam. And the thing is that because Yarby and I talked about it in the summer when it happened, where I think we both felt like MPJ is better. Like we know why Denver did it, to get under the tax to have a deeper roster, but I just didn't feel like Cam Johnson was better. I guess the thing is, before he got hurt, he had started to play much better. It's just the problem is he's like, even though people bring up MPJ's injury history, which is fair, Cam Johnson's been way more injury prone as of late than MPJ. MPJ's actually been pretty healthy. The only games he's missed recently this year, I think, is just because Brooklyn will sit him out. Or I think he had some family stuff going on, so he didn't play in a couple of games. But, like, he's not really been injured. I guess he hurt his shoulder in the playoffs last year. But Cam Johnson's been out a lot. But I understand why they did it. But I don't know. Like, they may not have to. Because, I mean, the thing is again, like, when was the last time that we had another team overpay to bring in a restricted free agent? Like, I don't know if that's actually going to happen. There's not a lot of teams with cap space this summer, right? Like, that's changed with all these trades.
Watson's going to get $100 plus million though.
But like, but that's the thing is like, who's it coming from? Brooklyn, Boston Celtics are trading Josh Minot to the Brooklyn Nets.
But you know something about that? It's interesting because Minot was actually solid for them early in the year.
Yeah, and then he kind of fell out of the rotation.
Yep.
So I'm assuming if they're getting nothing back, that's another cost-cutting move.
I think teams are getting ready for the buyout.
MPJ, one of the biggest what-ifs ever. Oh, yeah, for sure. Because, like, he's been playing great in Brooklyn. But, like, what if he never got hurt in college? Like, is he just this player right away? I don't know. What was I gonna say? So for Boston, in terms of them moving these guys and maybe clearing some space, does this change anybody's mind as to whether or not Tatum comes back? Because we've gotten some conflicting things, right? Because I think it was Chris Haynes, right, who said that nobody has ruled out Tatum coming back. It's more so like Tatum, has kind of gone back and forth about it, which makes sense. Right, we can understand that he's not sure whether or not he's coming back. Do we think he is? Yarby says he is. What do we think? Do we think Tatum comes back? Well, because I think he should sit. I think he will come back at this point. I think he, like I said, I don't think he should just because I'd be curious, because I'd be concerned. Wouldn't be talking about it if he wasn't. So, like, I think at this point he comes back. You think he sits? Untamed thinks he sits. You're the Celtics guy, so neither do I. Yeah, like, I don't think he should. But it feels like he might. But I don't think he's completely decided yet. So, I mean.
But if I'm Tatum, though, I'm sitting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm Tatum, I would rather not risk it. But the thing is, based off of what we know about him, I think if he can play, like if he's quote unquote cleared to play, I think he will come back based off of what we know about him. Because he's not a guy that just doesn't play, like because like even like in the past, like if he was like questionable with something, he would play. So I think if he believes he can come back and play, he will. But I think he should sit, get healthy, exactly. Yeah, we know he's top 5 when healthy. Like, I think he should sit and, like, be the best version of yourself next season. Boston can do other stuff in the summer or do stuff at the deadline to put them in a good position when he comes back. Like I wouldn't risk it because you come back out there and something else happens. Like he could maybe not be the same guy. You just never know. So I would sit, but
So it says in the recent hours, there has been advanced trade discussions between multiple teams and the Toronto Raptors regarding RJ Barrett. It says the Kings are leading the race of going all in.
well, here we go.
How
The
you feel about it?
Sixers are trading Eric Gordon and a 2032 second round pick to the Memphis Grizzlies. This gives the 76ers the flexibility to complete conversion of two-way Dominic Barlow. That's the guy that's
Bro,
been.
what's the point of this trade, bro?
Well, that's what. Well, he just said it. He just said it. Like it gives the Sixers the ability to sign
No, I'm
Dominic
talking
Barlow
about
the rest.
Memphis.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess to
That's what
get a
I'm
second,
talking
right?
about. I mean, yeah, sure, get a second, I guess. But like, bro, you're taking on this old ass washed up Eric Gordon who shouldn't even be in the league no more.
As a fan, I think he should sit, see the boys do their best in the playoffs, and whatever happens, happens. Start fresh next season. That's what I think. That's what I think they should do. But he
And,
might.
and this is an L low key. The 76ers have to trade a pick to get off his contract.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
tough.
there's not much you can do about that. I guess like they like Barlow. He's been starting. He's been playing pretty well for them. Since they don't really have a lot of options at the four, and they need something because Paul George obviously isn't coming back, for a little while, right? With the suspension, Eric
Yeah,
Gordon's
but
still,
they lost two trades. The two trades they made, they lost both of the trades.
yeah, but like you already said, second rounders are valuable. Yeah, like they are. Like I mean, you need to keep your second round picks. It's just that's also another reason why you have them, so you can get off of guys. That's the other part too. Sixers are in purgatory too. It's not as bad as it could have been because they got Edgecombe. If they didn't get VJ Edgecombe, or worst case scenario, if they didn't get that pick at all and it went to OKC, it'd be pretty rough. At least you can talk yourself into the idea of like whatever happens with Embiid and Paul George happens. At least we got Maxey and Edgecombe. Uh, at least Embiid looks a lot better than he did earlier in the year. It's just, are you buying that he can stay healthy for a full postseason run? When that has not happened, I don't think at all. Anytime he's been in the postseason, he's had some type of injury every time. Some not as big, some significant, but he has not been able to stay healthy in the playoffs. Unfortunately, it's a luxury to attach 3 seconds to a trade. It's left on. Yeah, because the way that I look at it is every time a deal happens, um, teams will ask for a first. And then if it's the tier of player that's not worth a first, you say no. Because why would you do that? Then they eventually come down and they're like, all right, we'll do it for seconds. And then you say, all right, deal. Then you can do it. That's why you want the seconds.
Yarby, man, we're missing you, man. We're missing you, bro.
Yeah, you can't fool me 15 times, Joel. LOL. Yeah, that's the problem. Is like he has slimmed down, so he's been healthier. He's played well. It's just that's why it's hard to pick Philly to win the East because I can't bank on him being healthy when that has not happened at all at any point. Even like when he was a younger player, he wasn't able to stay healthy through the playoffs. Now he's 30.
So we're like almost 2 hours in the show. If I think we're already at 2 hours, right?
Yeah, it's 2 o'clock. We
Okay.
started at noon.
Yep. So we're 2 hours into the show.
He's
For
at
all the
work till
people
11.
that's in the chat,
Yeah.
drop that like button, man. Drop that like, drop that sub. They're officially one sub away from 270, so that would be pretty good. More likes gets the channel out there a little bit more. It's unfortunate that the big trades hasn't happened when we were streaming. We missed it yesterday, but we still have 1 hour. I think the only big trade right now would be Ja, unless Zubats gets traded to Indiana. But yeah, man. Hopefully you guys enjoying the stream.
Yeah, he said he's at work till 11, which, we knew that. So, hopefully that's going all right. So, yeah, we got less than an hour left. It's just a matter of, like, what else can really happen at this point? Is there anything that can surprise us? Because I will say, like you said, it's kind of rough that so many of these deals happened before today because like some people were able to do streams and record, but not everybody's able to do that. So, but I guess like if you're these other teams, to be honest, it makes a lot of sense to get these deals done before today, because you don't want a scenario where something happens. Like say, remember last year, like the Mark Williams deal, right, where they do it and then they do the physical and then they decline it, or avoid it because of that, but then you can't do anything else. So like you want to get these done sooner, but at the same time, nobody's doing anything until close to the deadline. Like none of these deals would have happened a month ago, even though you'd think, well, why couldn't they? But a lot of teams aren't ready to do that. Especially early on in the season, everybody's pretty optimistic about their teams, so they're not going to do anything. But then stuff happens. Like if you're the Bucks, they're optimistic about their team going into the season. They're thinking, "There's no way we get to this point. We might be better than last year." That's what we heard from all the Bucks fans, and then it ended up not working out. Now stuff might happen in the summer. According to Chris Haynes, Spencer Jones will sign a standard contract, so that's also part of moving Hunter Tyson. Okay, so do they have another roster spot, or is that the roster spot that they end up using?
I know, right? I think that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yes, but I mean, like that makes sense. I mean, he's played pretty well for them. He got hurt last night against the Knicks as well, so hopefully that's not a long-term injury. But he's actually done a decent job of filling in while all these guys have been in and out, and so now that can be a guy where once the team is fully healthy, he can be a valuable piece off the bench. So yeah, it's pretty funny, but like I said, the thing that I had been talking to a lot of people about, like I said, is just the fact that so many of these deals happened and they had no reporting about them beforehand. That's just the part that I find really hilarious. And I'm not blaming anybody because obviously the insiders can only do what they can and things can change. Like you could have a scenario where somebody comes in at the last minute with a crazy offer that you just can't refuse. And things can change. It's just funny because, like I said, which deals that have happened had any legs behind them before they happened? Which one?
Um,
Like none of them I can think of.
well, Io,
I mean, really though?
because it was always going to be Kobe White or Io.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It was always going to be one of those. It just the reports were just pretty much saying Kobe was going to go to Minnesota.
Yeah. So is Houston another team that ends up kind of like standing pat and probably just waits until the buyout market to bring in somebody?
Yeah, they already made their move for Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I think the injuries is probably the part that kind of hurts them because I think once Van Vliet went down, Adams is down. The the the, the wording going into the year from them was kind of like, all right, this is a year where we're gonna learn some stuff. I heard a weird report the Wizards ownership pushed for the AD trade. That makes me worried. Really? Does that come from the Wizards insider, the Josh Robbins guy? Where'd you see that? That's interesting. If they did that. I'd be kind of curious to know where that came from, because I know that like there's that guy that's the Wizards insider for the Athletic, um, which that's interesting because that's what Dallas did, or the Nico Harrison pushed for it, and then he was able to convince the owner to go after AD, and then that's how AD ended up in Dallas. Now he's in Washington, so I'd be kind of curious about that one. Just because because it seems like the owner for the Wizards or team governor for the Wizards hasn't really been as visible as of late, right? Like, because I know before he was always like every year I want to build a competitive roster, and then the roster may not be that competitive, but it seems like he's kind of changed, which I guess is for the better. But that would be something that I'd be curious about if he pushed it. But I guess it's better than Sabonis because I remember before the AD move, there was the thought that like they were asking about like Sabonis, they were asking about Kessler, and they ended up going for AD.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is kind of funny though. So, but yeah, I guess you're right about like them going after Durant. and like that was the big move. But like I said, I do think the injuries is probably what kind of hurt that. Yeah.
That's what happened. Honestly, um, I'm just kind of bummed out right now. I'll be honest with you. I'm just kind of bummed out.
Oh yeah. Like, did you? So you wanted Giannis first, obviously, and then if not Giannis, Ja.
Yeah, I wanted Giannis or Ja. I wanted because it's like I wanted to trade Wiggins as well to the Lakers. But it looks like we're just running it back. And the crazy thing is, just like, how do you run it back after getting embarrassed like how we did? Um,
Yeah.
it's kind of embarrassing, and somebody needs to get fired.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen. Everyone wanted Giannis gone. Yeah, that's the crazy part. The biggest thing about this deadline was everybody was hoping that Giannis would get moved. I just can't believe Harden did that. Oh yeah,
I'm
that
not.
one was. I mean, it's funny because to be fair, I guess there was reporting about. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's
What
funny. What?
what happened? Yarby's talking.
Yeah, he's just talking to the chat. But
You suck, bro. Yarby. Even when your team's healthy, we're gonna be better than you next year, bro. Don't want to hear it.
But but it's funny though because like the Harden stuff, like I mean to be fair, there was like some reporting about the idea of like, oh, the Clippers could move on from Harden potentially, right? Especially like during that stretch where their record was awful, there was a thought about like they could be sellers, but the Cavs were not mentioned at all. So shout out to Chris Mannix for being the one to put that out there first. But because it was like the other destinations, right? It was like maybe it could be Minnesota, maybe it could be Houston, maybe it could be one of those other ones, right? And it ends up being the Cavs. So that's just kind of wild. Like I didn't expect that at all. So I that's one that I'm actually really curious to see. So do you think that the Harden move pushes the Cavs to be like the team to beat in the East? Like, do you like that Cavs roster now with Harden over Garland? Because I know we kind of
Nope.
talked about the deal. We talked about it a little bit more from the Clippers' perspective, and we talked about it like, okay, about Harden himself, but not the Cavs as a whole. Because like, there is a world where it's like, okay, he can be a point guard, he can help the bigs, he can make them better, but like, is this combined with Schroeder and Keon Ellis? You got upgrades at the guard spot. Like, does that put them over the top as the East favorite? Because I would still personally pick the Knicks. I just think they're the tougher team, and I think that they've proven that in the postseason. But what do you think?
Nope.
Nope.
Um,
He said no. No, no,
nah.
no.
Dude, you can't trust James Harden.
Oh,
Oh, we
oh.
got a big trade. Let's
All
go.
right, so Zubac is going to the Pacers.
Let's
Zubac is
go.
going to the
Yo,
Pacers. So,
this is what I'm talking about. Chris, where is the trade? Why does it just say Zubats to the Pacers? This is what I'm talking about. You can't make a big trade and then say, you don't know what you're giving up. Yo, this what gets me frustrated about Shams, bro. Woj would already have this report out. He would already have it out.
no.
This is why I'm working on to be a reporter because I'm gonna get out the trades in 2 seconds. This dude is taking yo.
That's a big one. We just got to know the details, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
Zoo, Big Zoo.
yo. So now, I'll be back soon. But listen, now we gotta talk about the Pacers for the rest of the show. Not rest of the show, but you know what I meant.
Oh yeah,
Because they're gonna be nasty next year.
that's an interesting move. That's a big. See, it's funny because Zubac is such a different big from Miles Turner, right? Because Zubac hasn't had a great year this year, but last year he was probably one of the five best centers in the league. He was awesome. Awesome. Um, Unlike Turner, he doesn't space the floor. Um, but he's very good, right? You throw that ball anywhere around the basket, he is scoring. Um, and obviously, he's also a really good defender as well. So we I was hopeful that the Pacers would do something, but it looks like the Clippers are basically they're sellers. When a lot of people weren't sure what the Clippers were gonna do, so
Well,
Zubac is gone and Harden's gone. Obviously, they brought
this
in Garland, but yeah, that's huge. We just need to know the details.
this is the thing, Chris. This is the thing, Chris. We need to know the details
Right.
because what if the Pacers trade their own first round pick?
I don't know. Yeah, that's the part that
What
I don't know, and
what
we don't know just yet. We don't know just yet.
bro? Dude, I'm getting
Boom.
upset. I'm not. I'm getting upset because this. Did you get it?
No.
Oh my god, dude. Dude, what time is it? It's gonna be 2:14. He's gonna drop the trade at like 2:20, bro. Because Shams just never knows what he's doing, bro.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, yeah, like I said, we need to know the details, but that's a huge one. That's a big one. I mean, who would have thought? But that's what people were saying, and
I
like,
called it.
yeah, exactly, and yeah, exactly. You called it, so that's a big one because if you're the Clippers, I mean, my thought process was like, yeah, they were winning a lot of games, but you weren't going anywhere. Like Yarby said, they stopped looking like an old beat up pickup truck, but it's not like they necessarily turned it into a sports car. So Zubac slows that team down, and that's the only tough part. Is like, as we know, as we saw them before, they like to play fast. They like to run up and down the floor, pressure the ball, and everything. Zubac is a slower guy because he's part of the Clippers playing a slower brand of basketball. I mean, obviously Kawhi um, and Harden are slower paced players too. But yeah, it does change how they play. But he's better than what they had. Like it's better than like Jay Huff and Isaiah Jackson. But no, that's the thing. We don't know yet. There's not been reporting about um there's not been reporting about what they gave up. So we don't know just yet. But yeah, that's a big one. So I'm
Trust me.
I'm
When
curious to
we
see how it looks. Because obviously, I guess he will play. Like, but obviously, there's no Halliburton. But that's a big one. That's crazy.
Yep. Yo, we can't forget. Oh my God, we can't forget the Oklahoma City Thunder are about to get the first round pick. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I forgot. Well, the thing is
Oh
that
my.
like the thing is that like they've played so well at this point. Like, haven't they kind of played their way out of it? I mean, I guess they could. Well, they haven't played their way out of it because they're still in the play-in. They would need some more lottery luck, I guess, right? Because they're 4 games under 500. So it's not out of yeah. So it's still in the cards for OKC to get a high pick. Because like you said, it's not like the Clippers are gonna be great. They could maybe tread water, but I don't think they'll be good enough to be able to get in. But then the question is like, you know, I guess could they beat out the Warriors? I mean, like, I don't know.
Listen, all I know is so this offseason is actually going to be bigger than what we expected. John Morant's going to get traded, Giannis is going to get traded, and Kawhi Leonard's going to get traded. Um,
Wow.
so
Imagine if
those are the
Kawhi
three.
got moved. That'd be insane.
Oh, if Kawhi gets moved in 40 minutes, I would be freaking yelling, dude. See what I mean, Chris? The
Yeah.
trade still hasn't came back. We still don't know the trade. It's like I don't understand why we don't know this trade already.
Yeah. That's wild. I still want to know because, like you already said, is it Matherin? Is it a first?
Oh, that would be huge if it's Matherin.
Sixers Thursday night, 10 o'clock from Brianna Torres, 3956.
What?
Sixers Thursday night, 10 o'clock. Don't I think that's the Lakers game, right? They play Philly. They play Philly at 10. Yeah, without Jackson Hayes because he stupidly pushed the Wizards mascot for whatever reason. I don't know what that was.
So the Pacers are about to have Tyrese Halliburton healthy, Zubac, and a potential top 3 pick.
Yeah.
Oh, brother. Dude, I'm just so over this, bro. The Heat suck. I'm just over this,
That's
dude.
why, and we still don't know the deal. We still don't know the deal. We still don't know. So there's no telling as to what it could be. I mean, because Zubac doesn't make a lot of money. Um, if I go into Spot Track and I look at his contract, um, let's go to the Pacific and then let's go to the Clippers.
Come on, Shams. Come on,
So
Shams.
his contract, he makes. Oh wait, oh they must have moved. Oh, did they move him to the Pacers already on that site? Wow, did they actually already do that? No way they did it that fast.
The fact
They
that the
did. He
Miami
makes
Heat,
18 million. He makes 18
yes,
million.
that's it's so good, and you have him for 3 years.
Yeah, he makes 18 million this year, 20 million next year, 21 million the final year of the deal.
Yeah,
That's
Pacers are gonna
insane.
go. Pacers are gonna win the championship next season. I'm calling it. I'm doing my prediction. They're gonna win the championship. Oh, the
That's
Clippers have been getting calls in regards to Kawhi Leonard. Yo, it's just not enough time though, bro.
There is enough
It's
time.
not.
You got 40 minutes.
Yeah, but dude, but then you don't start rushing trades, bro.
Yeah, but the thing is like stuff like that. I feel like is stuff that's like it probably was already in the work. Oh, here we go. Jake Fisher said Benedict Mathurin is going to the Clippers as part of the Zubac trade.
But see, but this is what I'm saying though, because like the deal's still not done though. He's just saying part of the deal, meaning there's still more to this deal.
Yeah. Now, what is possible is, and I don't know for sure because it's not like I have any sources. It's possible that this could be part of a bigger deal. Like there could be more to this. Maybe there's more teams that are going to try to get involved, and so they're just kind of collecting all the different pieces. Like it's possible that this could turn into a bigger deal. Maybe.
No,
I don't know for
no,
sure.
no. Let me ask Yarby. So the Clippers still that old pickup truck because it looks like they're pretty young now with a 23-year-old Mathurin and a 26-year-old Darius Garland. They're getting young, and I'm sure they got picks off this deal. We're just, bro. There's no way they didn't get picks off this deal. They got picks off this deal.
Yeah. So, uh, yeah. I well, because I'm trying to think. From what I remember, I thought the Clippers were looking for like at least what, like two firsts for Zubac. So could it be two firsts potentially?
Two first.
You said that's what you saw. You saw that? No longer a pickup truck.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
said no longer a pickup truck. So there you go. It's over. The Clippers aren't a pickup truck anymore. Although Zubac isn't even old,
Honestly,
but Clippers still cursed. Although Zubac isn't even old, but yeah, yeah. Personally, what? I think it cut you off. Got younger, which I like. That is wild. That is crazy.
dude, I'm confused. I'm so confused of why we don't know this trade yet. I'm honestly confused.
I mean, like I said, it's possible that it could be part of a bigger deal. Like there could be more um, that isn't being done, but who knows? That's wild. It's got to be at least two firsts. But
So
yeah,
wait, Shams. Oh my god, bro, what is Shams doing, bro? I need to make a video, and you're not telling me the picks. You're not telling me nothing. All you're saying is Zubats for Mathurin. That's all you're saying. And the crazy thing is, he didn't even report that. It was Jake Fisher.
Clippers went
Like,
from retirement home to orphanage. That's what Untamed said. That's funny. Yeah, we got to see the return on this deal because like Matherin, okay, that's cool, but it's got to be more. Yeah, but
bruh.
yeah, so the Clippers, I guess, now have turned into sellers, which honestly, that's what they should be doing.
Yeah, and dude, the fact that they turned their season around was amazing. But let's be for real, um, they had to be sellers,
Yeah, less fortunate kids sounds about right. Yeah, George's Niang to be waived by the Grizzlies.
bro. I'll be honest with you. I think this is it. I think they just did. I think they did a swap.
Shout out to everyone. What the heck, brother? BKL Sports Entertainment Show. Shout out to everyone in the chat, including Golf Ball Takes. Keep up good work on the channel. Appreciate it. And shout out from South Bronx. Okay, shout out. Thanks. South Bronx.
See, bro, like see now they're just being. It's along with draft capital, bro. But like,
Should I pick up Brook Lopez for fantasy now? I mean, I don't know if he's going to be putting up crazy stats though. I don't know if that would be a good investment. That's
I get,
mm-hmm.
you know why I get mad at this stuff is because I like to get the video up first, and I can't get the video up first, Chris,
Yeah,
because they want to hold this trade right now.
yeah, yeah. So there's still a lot we don't know. Should I pick up? I'm assuming you're already saying no for the fantasy thing.
Oh, Kawhi letter to Miami.
That's funny.
Yep, that's it. Full trade details. It came out. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. So the Clippers received Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and the Pacers received Zubac and Kobe Brown.
Okay.
Now that's the full trade details, but I need to know the picks. I need to know the exact picks.
Yeah, the Pacers. So Benedict Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, 2 firsts and 1 second to the Clippers for Zubac and Kobe Brown. So there you go. So
The
yeah, like you
Clippers
said,
got exactly what they wanted. Shout out to them.
yeah, yeah. Shout out the Clippers. Yeah, honestly, I mean, like I said, this is what they should have done. They needed to sell because it was over. Dot 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 dot.
Of course, Jarby saying dot dot dot.
Yeah, that's funny. But
Hey,
yeah. So
Chris, man, I'll be right back.
yeah, sure. Yeah, wow. So that's a huge deal. Clippers won this. So you like the deal for the Clippers? Isaiah Jackson is dope. Yeah, I mean that's kind of wild because I mean I guess if you're the Clippers, like I mean if you're moving on, if you're selling, then you do have to sell off of all these guys. And like Zubac is a guy that teams would want. Kawhi going right now too. Wonder where he goes. Yeah, I mean like if you're the Clippers, I mean you got 2 firsts, right, which is good because they don't have a lot of their first left. Um, and there was no point in having Zubac at this point. So yeah, like I don't have a problem with this for the Clippers at all. Like this is what you should do. So and you got Darius Garland. So it's like you already said, you got younger. You do have some picks. You're still not going to be great, but like this is a lot better than what it. This is better than if they had just stood pat, or worst case scenario if they had been buyers. Because I just didn't see a scenario where they would buy and then be a real threat. 35 minutes, phones are blowing up right now. Yeah, that's the crazy part. Is we didn't know we were going to get anything else. And now we are. So yeah, good movement from the Clippers. No issues with that whatsoever. They like Top Dot said, they got exactly what they were looking for. I'm just curious as to what picks specifically they are from the Pacers. Whether I wouldn't think it would be the pick that they have this year. It would have to be some future picks. But like if it's future picks, that's fine because like if you're the Pacers, whenever Halliburton comes back, like you're gonna be good again as long as he's healthy. So that's a good deal, I would say. Now we just got to see whatever else happens in the last half hour. Pretty crazy, honestly. But yeah, so really liking that. But I do think it'll be a different style of play though with Zubac. But like I guess the case that you can make is you can play different styles. So it's because it's like say if Zubac isn't out there, you can play a faster style or like you can have 4 guys run. You don't have to have all 5 guys run. You can have everyone else run up the floor. So you got to have different styles of play if you're going to try to contend for the title. You can't just play one brand of basketball. And Zubac is an upgrade over what they had. And then for Mathurin, obviously the Pacers weren't going to bring him back, so he gets a fresh start with the Clippers. And he can be starter, core guy there, and then, take all the shots he wants. So I'm sure he'll probably enjoy that too. So I guess but where does Kawhi go if he gets moved? That's the part that I'm kind of curious about. Like, do we think Kawhi will get traded, and if so, where do we think he goes? Because at this point, like, I mean, you can't predict anything at this point. Anything could happen. Hallie and Zoo gonna be nice? Yeah, exactly. Great pick and roll partnership, dump offs, post ups. Like Yarby said, it'll be a little bit slower, but I think it'll be more versatile. So I'm sure they're excited about that. Let's see. Okay, so Shams is putting out the same tweet he put out before. Benedict Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, 2 firsts and 1 second for Zubac and Kobe Brown. Let's see. I don't know who would want him, but Clips cleaning house. I mean, you would think it would probably could it. You would think it could be a. Would it be a veteran team or would it be another team? Or what's and do you even have to give up a ton in order to get him? I mean, his contract is pretty big, but who could it be? Could it be? What about like Detroit? If you're Detroit, would you go after Kawhi? Or would you just say, no, I don't think I will? Because if you're gonna, or if you're Kawhi, would you rather just stay in LA? You already got 2 titles. Nah. Yeah, because I'm trying to think of destinations that could make some sense for him, right? Like, you need a guy who can help you. You need a guy who can get you some buckets, right? He's been in championship games. It's still a huge gamble because of his health, but you don't want to give up the farm for him, nor should you. So that's why I was thinking of maybe a team like Detroit. But what other teams could be out there? That's the part that I'm trying to think. Like if it's not Detroit, where else? So it's 2:30, so we have a half hour left. Just send him to Golden State. Yeah, I guess I've heard some people say that. So you'd have what? So you'd have. So would they trade Butler? Would so would it be like a Butler and Jimmy swap, and then you just have Kawhi? I guess you could do that. Because let's take a look at his contract. If we go on Spot Track and we go to the Clippers, Kawhi makes 50 million, right? So you can't put Porzingis in there because you can't aggregate him because you just traded for him. So, but then Golden State's a first apron team, but I guess Kawhi makes less than Jimmy. So, is it possible that you could maybe swap those 2 guys? That's the only thing I could think of if you were to do it.
So Chris, how you feel about this deal?
The Zubac one?
Yeah.
I like it for both teams because the Clippers needed to sell. I don't know what picks the Pacers gave them, but like if you're the Pacers, you got a center. You probably got the best one on the market that you could have gotten. So
this is the tough part. They traded their first round pick.
oh, so that's official. It was the first round pick for this year.
Yes, they did.
Really?
Yep.
Where's it from?
Shams reported it.
Okay. Yeah, it's tough. Ah, here we go. Yeah, I see it. Clippers are receiving a 2026 first round pick from the Pacers, protected 1 through 4 and 10 through 30. What the heck? So that's a lot of protections. So that pretty much means that there's a decent chance that the Pacers will still keep it.
Yeah.
It just has to be, they need picks. Let's see. So, and then what was the other first? 2029. Okay. So that's a lot of protection. So if it's 1 through 4 and 10 through 30, that basically means if it's from 5 to 10 or 5 to 9, that's the only way it goes to the Clippers. So it's kind of a gamble. But that basically means that the Pacers need to finish with like what? One of like a bottom 3 record?
Yep, which they are right now.
Yeah, right now, where are they in the standings? They are, because they're close to the bottom. Okay, so they have the worst record in the East. It looks like, what, maybe the third worst record in the league? So, yeah. So, if they stay where they are, there's a decent chance they can keep it. So, I guess if you're the Pacers, you could bank on maybe a couple of those teams like Sacramento or New Orleans might move ahead of you. That's probably what you'd have to bank on. Because it's risky. Because we know with the lottery, there's definitely a chance that they don't keep that pick. For sure. And we don't know what the lottery is going to be. If you're the Pacers and you can keep the pick, then it's a home run.
I had
Obviously,
a
if you're the Clippers and you can get that pick, that's a home run too.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was that he had that pick had to be involved.
Yeah, because why else would the Clippers do it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so if that's the case, then that's a gamble. Because, like I said, we don't know what the heck is going to happen with that pick. We don't know. That's a major gamble. So
Well,
5 through 9, it goes to the Clippers. Anything else, it stays with Indiana.
so my thing is, I think they did this deal because they feel like they're a championship team next year, no matter what.
Okay, so it's like it's worth the gamble. Like you're getting
Yeah,
Zubac, who's a very good, who's one of the better centers in the league, and that's better to them, I guess, than not doing anything or getting like Gafford and then potentially a top pick. Because Zubac is better than Gafford.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's the question: is what's the likelihood? Do we think that they'll? I mean, that's literally a guess because it's literally just luck. Um, do the basketball gods reward Indiana and allow them to keep their pick, or do they lose it to the Clippers?
So they went after Walker Kessler and they in the they denied it.
Okay, yeah, and I guess if you're Utah, like, I mean, you don't have to trade Kessler; you can just re-sign him because I doubt he gets a ton of money.
Well, I think that's the last trade of the trade deadline, bro.
Yeah, we got a half hour left. Um, I mean, so we'll see. Like you said, there may not be any more deals, uh, but you never know. There always could be one left. I just don't know what it would be unless it's Kawhi. But
Dude, the thing is with that is I have no clue what Kawhi Leonard's trade value is at this point, bro.
I don't know.
Do you?
No, I mean, well, I think any team that's getting him wouldn't be giving up a lot because I just think, I mean, obviously he's really good, but he's also older. Um, I mean, he's got what, like 2 years left on his deal or whatever it is, and then like it's like a mid-season deal. So I wouldn't think anybody would give up a lot to get him. But I don't know. I mean, what is he? I mean, is he okay with staying in LA? He could be.
You know it's kind of funny because I think he is. Like he says he trusts the front office of getting stuff done and but that was before the Zubac trade. Now the Zubac trade happened. Maybe he's not because he's like, Darius Garland can still help us compete and we could still win games with him. Now it's like you just lost a top 10 center. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And I don't know what else. I don't know what else you really do with that. So, because like if I'm the
Oh,
Clippers, I mean, I would trade Kawhi. In my opinion, like if I can get anything back for him, unless I mean, does anything happen with the aspiration thing?
bro, so it has to be, bro. I'm like, something has to be happening, bro. Or the Clippers are just finally being smart. You know what? Why? Let's just give the Clippers some credit.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just finally being smart. They realize, listen, it's not going to get it done. So Tyus Jones just got traded to the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay. All right. So, guess another point guard.
So the Charlotte Hornets are trading Tyus Jones to the Mavericks for Malachi Branham. Mavericks had interest in Jones this season and get him today. Hornets opened a $7 million trade exception.
Okay. So then there you go. Okay, so Dallas gets a point guard because because the only other point guards would be because the only other point guards they have is Nemhard. They move D'Lo, and Kyrie's out. So
So, I mean, dude, I'm looking forward to our next podcast because there's a lot of teams now that we can discuss about these trades.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly, for sure. And that's the nice
like,
thing about the deadline. And it'll give us some time to actually like step back and think about all these deals. Charlotte gets younger. Yeah, they do. Yeah, like, Charlotte honestly is such a great story because like it's a team where like every year I'm always picking the over, and then they end up disappointing because they always end up getting hurt. Now they've been relatively healthy, and they've been playing like one of the best teams in the league for the last month or so. It's been pretty cool to see.
definitely it is.
Yeah,
Man,
especially like I said, the ownership change I think helps out a lot, and obviously the health is the biggest thing too. I think. But yeah, so yeah, that is funny though, because I mean, like I said, you called it like in terms of the Zubac thing. So like that would definitely signal that the Clippers are going through a rebuild, which I think is the right decision for them. Honestly, like it's time because the worst thing you could do is continue to try to buy into this, and it just is not going to happen. Like you got Benedict Mathurin, you could potentially get a top pick if the lottery doesn't go Indiana's way. Like so, to me, that's a no-brainer.
so is Brooke Lopez going to be their starting center?
Probably, but I mean,
Which honestly, he has been playing a little better, but I'm just saying.
yeah, I mean probably, but I mean at this point, like, it, I mean clearly they're not looking to contend or anything at this point. I wouldn't think they probably don't care at this point, or maybe they play the guy they drafted a little bit more.
Yeah.
What is it, Niederhauser? I would imagine.
Well, this trade deadline definitely been one of the better ones.
Yeah,
That trade right there, topped it off for sure.
yeah. If Giannis had been moved too, that probably would have made it like the crazy, like the best trade deadline. That probably lowers it, but like it's still definitely a really good one because there's always at least a couple trades that you just don't expect, and this was probably one of them.
Yo, it just got reported 1 minute ago. It says we could see one more big trade before the deadline, and that involves Ja Morant.
Okay,
Oh my goodness.
yeah.
And
So
it looks
that's the thing is like uh, it's it's definitely possible. I just the thing is it's kind of like what Untamed said, right? It's like they keep asking for a first, but I just don't think anybody is trading for John Morant and giving up a lot. Like I don't see it. I think anybody that's trading for him is looking to get him for very little. It's just a matter of where he goes. But like we don't. I mean, the only teams that we've really heard is maybe Sacramento, maybe Miami, maybe Milwaukee. That's pretty much it.
yeah, it says Milwaukee the Milwaukee Bucks are in talks.
Okay, so they may end up getting Ja. That's interesting.
Which is kind of funny because Ja Morant and Giannis was linked to Miami, and it looks like they're just going to be teaming up in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got
Which
little more than 15 minutes. Which what?
so okay, I know this is like way past it because we're nowhere near it. We're still in their season, but Kawhi Leonard destinations in the offseason? Who do you got?
Yeah. Well, while you were out, I was kind of talking to the chat about like what if like Detroit went after him because I was thinking maybe he gets moved at the deadline because I think that would be a good move for them, but I don't think they're gonna do it. But then other than that, I mean, they mentioned Golden State, which I don't know if
Honestly,
that would be like a swap with him and Jimmy, and then other than that,
what if
yeah,
okay, now what if the Clippers trade Kawhi to Miami for Wiggins?
I don't think that works though, right? Because Kawhi makes like 50 million.
Well, I mean, Wiggins is not a swap, but like that's going to be part of the deal, right? They want to go younger, so
Yeah.
you throw in a Wiggins, you throw in a Jovic or a Jaime to get the money to work. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah, I
going
guess if I'm the Heat, though, I mean, like, wouldn't you rather use the first in the packages to go after Giannis than Kawhi, though?
bro. Because listen, we're not getting Giannis. Like realistically, we're the Miami Heat are not getting Giannis. Because if Jaw gets traded in the next 15 minutes, the whole Giannis hype is done.
Oh, like you mean like you think he'll just stay there like long term?
Yeah, he is because you don't just trade for Ja Morant and then oh wait, what? The Bucks and Suns have expanded. Oh no,
Yeah, it
that's
was the one from
oh,
earlier that we were talking about. The Bulls. So Nick Richards is going to Chicago instead of Milwaukee.
man, I got excited. I seen the Bucks. I said, oh,
Yeah, so now the Bulls have a center. So there you go. They don't have. So there you go. It's not just guards. Still a lot of guards, but
well, rate this trade. Okay, A plus trade deadline. If Giannis got traded, A trade. I think it's an A trade deadline.
mm-hmm.
A minus trade deadline. No, it's an A minus trade deadline right now. It'll be an A if Ja gets
Yeah,
traded. A plus if Giannis gets traded.
yes, yeah. I'd say A minus because, like I said, A if you get job moved, A plus if Giannis gets moved, which obviously we know he's not. So
Yeah, because it's like they traded. It's funny because none of these stars were really reported to be traded. Like, let's talk about how many stars got traded. So James Harden,
yep,
Jaren Jackson,
mm-hmm.
Anthony Davis,
Mm-hmm.
Zubac.
Yep.
Um, I feel
Trey
like I missed
before the
Trey
deadline.
Young. Trey Young. Okay. So 5 stars, right? That's the 5 stars that got traded.
Yeah, and that's a lot.
Yeah, you usually only get a few. So the fact that you got five and you didn't get them to the expected location.
Right.
You know what I
And
mean?
most of those guys also weren't going for like if they were first round picks involved, like it wasn't their own. Like it wasn't a haul. The
Yeah,
Zubac
exactly.
one is the only one where it was like you gave up a first, and the Pacers this year haven't been good. But all the other like the Harden one, there were no firsts involved. AD, the Wizards first, it wasn't their own, and then the other ones like Triple J, like most of those weren't Utah's own either. Let's see, it's definitely an A for me. Kobe White. Kobe White did something else happen to him?
No, no, he's not.
Oh. He's mentioning like others, like I guess high level players that got moved. I'm assuming. Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely an A for me. Yeah, so we got 15 minutes. I know. I guess sometimes you might have something that happens after three, but like it's usually not something that's like a crazy move. Yeah, just to mention. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, Kobe White to the Hornets. Okay, so that would be like, I think Kobe White, Ayudasoma would be like the next level to be traded. Um,
Mm-hmm. Then like
and
Vooch.
then you got Vooch, then you got Porzingis,
Oh yeah,
right?
I guess he'd be
The
better than those guys when
Yeah, the
healthy.
star,
Kaminga.
Kaminga, Jared McCain. I mean, dude, I'm gonna do a video. I do grading all these trades. It's probably gonna be an hour video.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so I guess are we getting a Kawhi or job move? Are we getting
Nah,
it?
I think we might get Jaw. Don't see Kawhi. I think Kawhi. It's gonna take time
Fair enough.
unless they were like doing like. There's several people in the room, so unless like you know they're on several calls with other teams, it's probably not. But that Tyrese Halliburton pick and roll with Zubac is about to be lit.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one. Like if you're imagine if Jaws traded for Kawhi. Oh my gosh, that'd be funny. I guess they got Garland, so they probably wouldn't do that at this point. Um, but that would be really funny though.
Yo, I know the Warriors are kicking themselves in the butt right now because they could have got Kawhi Leonard.
You think so?
Yep. If they never traded for Porzingis, they could have got Kawhi Leonard. I'm calling it right now, bro. They could have got him.
So I guess they would have swapped Jimmy and Kawhi or what? Or would you just put in like Kaminga and the other pieces?
Now you probably throwing Kaminga in those young pieces, maybe some expirings. Hey, look, I'm looking at this trade, this thing, and Shams is typing right now. I don't know what he got going on, but he's typing on TV.
That's funny.
Unless there's another trade happening.
Yeah, the most recent thing he put out was live reporting, and he's talking about the Zubac thing. But like you said, I see the clip of him doing stuff.
Chicago Bulls and the Kings are the two teams to watch for John Morant and Dale before the deadline. This is what makes me think the deal is not going to get done because they're saying the Bucks and now they're saying the Bulls. And dude, if the Bulls pick up John Morant, I don't know what they're doing.
Another guard.
I maybe I have no clue what they're doing, bro.
What would
It's
that
like
deal
okay,
even look like?
I mean they will have to start Josh Giddey and John Morant together.
Ugh. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that's messy.
Would you trade Josh Giddey to get Ja?
That would be a W move for Memphis.
I guess that would be better than what we would expect to happen.
I just need the trade deadline to be over,
They'll
bro.
start Ja at center. Oh no, they got Nick Richards now. They don't have to start him at center. That'd be pretty funny. Yeah, we got 10 minutes, and again, like to be fair, stuff could happen. Um, but like I said, I would think if we're getting like a Ja or Kawhi thing that we would find out before 3. In my opinion, I would think that we'd find out before then. No way they would uh, do that. Just let us wait. So yeah, 10 minutes left. Yeah, what a deadline. I mean, even like not including today. I mean, you had a bunch of other crazy ones. So like all the stuff we mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, those,
Bro, how do you get Kawhi Leonard traded in 9 minutes?
yeah, I mean that's. I mean, I guess it really comes down to like we found out about the Zubac stuff, but like was that stuff going on earlier and we just didn't know about it? Like I would feel like that's probably what happened. Because you wouldn't think stuff like that just materializes.
Yeah, and I didn't just materialize in 15 minutes.
Yeah, so now we just got to see, if anything happens in the last 10 minutes. Like I said, either Ja or Kawhi or nothing else. Yeah, so let's see. Nothing in the chat. Anthony Slater for ESPN said Draymond Green will remain with the Warriors through the trade deadline. Per sources, he was involved in Giannis conversation that never gained traction, but part of pivot plan to Kristaps Porzingis includes the idea of pairing complementary Draymond and Porzingis front court skill sets. At this point, I'm sure GM's got offers on the table that they're iffy about. Yeah, and they still have some time to decide. I just don't know if they will. Yeah, Bobby Marks is the one that said the Bulls and the Kings are the two teams to watch for a potential.
Yeah, it's just not enough time.
Yeah, I just what the heck is the deal for the Bulls? Like the Kings one would probably be, like a DeRozan or whatever else, but I don't know what the Bulls one would be. And the thing that honestly that we didn't even think about just now is if the Bulls don't do anything else and like they don't get Ja, that means all those guards are going to be staying. But I guess to be fair, like we talked about, several of those guards are expiring. But it seems kind of silly to have all of those guys there and you can't move a couple of them. But that may be the plan. Because if I look at the Bulls and I look at what's on the roster right now, let's see. Trey Jones has 2 years left. The last year is a team option. Let's see. Ivy's obviously going to be a restricted free agent. Sexton isn't expiring, and Simons isn't expiring. So they could just have those guys and then just say goodbye, and then do whatever you want with Ivy. So, and then the Pelicans, I guess that means that they're gonna keep, like people have been saying, they're probably just gonna keep all their guys, aside from Alvarado. But like Zion's probably not going anywhere. Murphy's not going anywhere. Jones is not going anywhere. You wouldn't have expected Fears or Queen to get moved anyways.
6 minutes left.
Yep. Yeah, and
Damn.
yeah, and of course there could always be something after 3, but I feel like it would get like when it gets close to 3, we'll get reporting from somebody that will say Ja's not getting moved or Kawhi's not getting moved.
We just got a report from Chris Haynes that
exactly.
they're not trading Kawhi.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and they're doing that to save us time, which is good.
Yeah, they're not doing that with Ja, which is pissing me off.
Yeah. Oh, so they put out the Ja one too?
No, they haven't.
Okay. Yeah. So at least we know with Kawhi, he's not going anywhere. So you got 5 minutes to find out about Ja. So we'll see. That was funny. Mark Spears, that was the guy that said that the Warriors aren't done yet, but I don't think they've done anything else, right? I think it was just Porzingis. 5 minutes, yeah. So we know Kawhi's off the table, so it's just Ja. Unless there's some other random person I'm not thinking about.
I can't think of nobody.
Yeah, so 5 minutes. Yeah, what a ride it's been, honestly. Pretty crazy. And like you said, once we do the actual episode, of course, then we'll be able to break it all down in detail. So that'll be fun, but just wild. So we'll see what happens with Ja. I don't know. Like I said, I would think at this point it's so close that I wouldn't think that they would just toss him out with like 3 minutes to go. I think we're probably going to get something that says he's not moving.
I'm just waiting for that report, man. My Miami Heat are the only team that didn't make a trade all. Oh my!
Is that true? Are they like actually the only team that didn't?
In the Eastern Conference, yes.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. Because if I look around, I guess. Yeah, you might be right. Because if I go to Spot Track and I go look at all these teams, yeah, Celtics, the Nets, Knicks, Sixers, the Raptors did one last night. Bulls, Cavs, Pistons, Pacers, Bucks, Hawks. Yeah, Magic. Yeah, because some of them were small trades, but like they still were something. And then out west, did Portland do anything?
Portland in the West, nah, this in the East.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. But yeah, Warriors, Clippers, Lakers. Yeah, okay. Actually, yeah, I think because Houston, I think it's Houston, and I don't think the Spurs did anything. So I think Houston, San Antonio, and the Heat. I think those would be the only teams that didn't do anything.
Which Houston didn't need to make a move. They already made their move for Kevin Durant. San Antonio didn't need to make a move. So
right. Yeah. So yeah, and like I said, it's 2 minutes left. I'm surprised we haven't gotten the Ja notification, but I feel like we're gonna get it. I would think.
It's over with, bro.
Yeah, if he's not going anywhere, like then somebody will tell us that he's not going anywhere because that always happens. Because like I said, as I said that, then we got the one with Kawhi. So only Miami didn't trade. I don't think San Antonio. Yeah, like I said, I think it was the Spurs, it was the Rockets, and it was the Heat. But to be fair, not every single move was big. Some of it was just to get under the tax. But
Oh, it's over now, man.
all right, so it's official. They put out the job one.
It's just over. Yeah, it's 3:00.
Oh, it's just 2:59 here.
Oh well, I mean, if you think they're gonna get a deal done,
Yeah, it's not over till it's over. It's
yeah, but they ain't gonna get no deal done in 30 seconds.
It may happen after 3:00. Come on, we need a buzzer beater. Sometimes you might get something after 3. But once it's 3:00, because once it's 3:00, then like I said, somebody will put out something that says like, oh, Ja's not getting moved, or like, oh, so and so team isn't expected to make any more moves or anything, and then we'll probably get at some point the crop of guys that get bought out or waived or whatever. Well, some of the deals aren't official yet though, so some of the deals have to be official. They have to go through their physicals. Then maybe they'll get waived. But
25
now
seconds.
it's 3:00. So now we have to wait and see if we get any last minute ones.
Ja Morant, bro.
Yeah, so I would say once it's like 3:05 or so, maybe we call it, I don't know, 3:05, 3:10. Let's see. So Jake Fisher says there will be no Domantas Sabonis trade. Sources say he's sticking in Sacramento. So he's not going anywhere. I honestly forgot about him. It's official, zeros on the clock now. So Jake Fisher already said Sabonis isn't going anywhere. Now we just have to see about Ja. So if he puts out the Ja's not going anywhere, then that's pretty much it. Because after that, there wouldn't be any other big moves. But I'm surprised that they don't have anything about Ja. But
yeah, they don't. I don't
but it is
why.
official though. I guess the deadline is passed. So now, like I said, we just wait to get the final calls, and then that'll be it.
This is crazy, bro. Oh man.
Yeah. Would Denver be a good place for Kawhi in the summer?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Like, say, would you be okay with moving on from like Peyton Watson if you got Kawhi?
That would be crazy.
No, I'm just saying. Like, would you do that?
I don't think so. No.
All right. So
Bro, why haven't we heard nothing about Ja though? I'm confused.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you never know. But like I said, once they say he's not getting moved, then you know that's it. Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, guys, man. Like they're not really updating what's going on with Ja at this point. So it's interesting. What do you guys think was the biggest winners at the trade deadline?
All right, I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm back. So we got another question in the chat, or no?
Check.
Untamed says Ja to Miami. Are you trolling?
Yeah, right.
Is that a troll?
That's a troll comment, bro.
I haven't seen anything, so it might be a troll.
Yeah, bro. I haven't seen nothing, bro. It's pathetic. Like comments like this can't get me too excited. Like, see, you can't do that, bro. Like, you just can't do that. You can't do that, bro.
That's
You
funny.
can't do.
Yeah,
You can't.
I mean, it is weird though, because like I said, we've not heard a definitive no. I wouldn't think it would happen at this point, but I mean, you can't completely dismiss it because it hasn't happened. I figured that was a troll. So yeah.
Oh, it looks like the trade deadline's officially over.
Okay, so you did get the jaw thing. We got it.
Yeah, it's over, bro.
Okay, they did put that out there.
Well, it's 3:05.
Well, I'm just saying, like they do have stuff that happens after 3. I at least want to wait until we get the definitive answer on Ja. I'm surprised that there hasn't been a definitive answer.
Yeah, bro. They have a definitive answer of the Utah Jazz waving people, though.
Okay, see that's what I'm saying. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Utah Jazz plan to waive Chris Boucher, so he could be, I guess, a quote unquote buyout guy for whatever reason. Well, not for whatever reason. I guess like if you need a shooting big, you could get him, but he didn't even play for Boston. So if he hadn't played for Boston, there's got to be a reason for that. I don't know about that one. Yeah, I'm surprised. Where is the Ja notification? Where is it? Because like I said, once we get the Ja notification is probably when I'll call it. Because after that, I wouldn't expect anything else. I just wouldn't, because after that, it's just going to be maybe some guys getting waived. I just don't, like, what are we waiting for?
I'm about to go in, bro. That's what I'm about to do. I'm about to make like.
About to go what?
I'm about to go in on the Miami Heat, bro.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm sure that'll probably do numbers.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Where's the job notification? That's crazy. I mean, I guess you could almost make the case like, so I'm going to give it about like maybe 5 more minutes. And if we don't get anything about Ja, then I'll probably just call it, because I'd be surprised that like we don't get anything about him. I mean, we can't even get a definitive no. That'd be kind of surprising to me. That's wild. I don't know, dude. But to be fair, I'd be surprised if he were to get moved, because I would think we would hear something about it.
Yeah, bro, it's over.
Yeah, like I said, I'll give it another 4 minutes, like until like 3:10 or so.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You did get it?
No, but the Brooklyn Nets are waiving Cam
What?
Thomas.
Cam Thomas to be waived? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's what the heck happened? Is he hurt?
He just sucks.
Allowing the scoring guard to enter free agency? The Nets made the decision. Oh, he was on the qualifying offer. So where the heck does he go?
I don't know.
Wow,
Bro.
Brooklyn just waived Cam Thomas. That's insane.
Yeah, I told you it's the buyout market time, bro. That's why. Like, a lot of the people are just gonna get waived now.
But Cam Thomas though getting waived? I would not have expected that at all. Like what? Like okay, like usually when I'm thinking buyout market, I'm thinking like, you know, like the names you already mentioned, like Chris Paul, Lonzo, Chris Boucher, but Cam Thomas? Untamed said free 25 points per game. LOL, who wants it? So who's the Cam Thomas destination?
I have no clue. I'll be honest with you. I can't even think of a destination.
Because it's got to be a team that's in need of some scoring. I mean, I think his best role is as a 6-man. I don't think he's a starter, but like he's not a starter on like a championship contending team.
He's going to Golden State. He's gonna come off the bench and be their best scorer.
Just replace Kuminga.
Yeah, just be their best scorer off the bench, bro.
I mean, I don't think
Not
he
bad.
doesn't fit that team. If he didn't like Kaminga, I can't imagine he would like Cam Thomas, Steve Kerr. You know
I
what I
think
mean? Like if he's not if he wasn't willing to play Kaminga, I'd be pretty surprised that he'd be that high on him because I mean he would be. I mean he's not as athletic, not a defender either. Also not really a ball mover. I guess he's improved as a passer, playmaker, but it's also a free player.
yeah, that's a free player right there.
Could he go? What about Houston?
Man, dude, Cam Thomas. The thing about Cam, he's just not really good.
You don't think he's good?
I think like with Cam Thomas, he's not a winning player. So like when you start talking about contenders, why would a contender want that?
I'm just surprised it couldn't even get a second. Untamed said, "Eff it, come to Boston." I guess he could replace Simons.
That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
So Chris Haynes says no trade materialized with the Kings. You know what I just thought about? Malik Monk didn't get traded.
No. Okay, so yeah, that's where we're getting the notifications about like, oh, we're not getting moves for players X, Y, and Z. So he's telling you, like I said, like he gave you the whole team that none of the Kings players are getting moved.
Yeah, but it is weird though with the jaw thing.
Yeah, where's the Ja one?
Yeah, that is a little weird. They did it with like 5 people already, bro.
Yeah. Well, now I got to give it until 3:15.
Like that is a little weird, dude.
Yeah. I don't understand that one. And I mean, the Cam Thomas one is a shocker. I mean,
Yo, this dude really just got
waived. I mean, because the thing was, when he didn't get extended, I knew he wasn't getting extended in the summer. And he took the qualifying offer. But I just thought he would get moved, like, just for anything. Not waived. But I guess if they didn't trade him, they're like, well, we don't really want you, so let's just waive you. Because otherwise, he'd be an unrestricted free agent anyways. So now he can just go to wherever he wants. But where that is, I don't know. But his stock, I mean, clearly his stock is low. I mean, that's insane. But I just wonder where he goes. Because he's going to have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I said, once we get some official stuff, which I'm assuming is not getting moved, but I do want to at least wait until we get the stuff. Once we get that, then that's when I'll call it, or I may just call it in the next 5 minutes, anyways. But I don't know why we're not getting information. Has his stock just dropped so low to the point that we don't even get to know whether or not he gets moved? Like, that just seems insane. It's crazy. Can't believe that Cam Thomas got waived.
He says super excited, ready to actually help and contribute to another team.
He actually posted? He made a post?
No, Mark J. Spears just made a because I guess he responded to him getting waived.
Oh, so that's like what he told him. Okay. Wow.
He says, my next team is getting elite scoring, good playmaking, and a good combo guard.
Just it didn't work in Brooklyn, I guess. What if he just went to the Clippers?
I don't know, my man. But Chris,
yeah, might as well call it, I guess, because I honestly, I don't think Ja's getting moved, so we might as well just call it.
Yes, sir. That was a great stream. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything. I think it's over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just surprised that Ja doesn't does he just not have motion anymore? I mean, he's got the shoes. Like, I'm surprised that we wouldn't get anything about him not getting moved. That's crazy.
They don't respect him.
That's crazy. Like, that's actually insane. But yeah, I mean, I could give it a. So do I give it until 3:15 or just call it? Well, nope. That never mind. That's just Chris Haynes breaking the same thing that everybody else was saying. Let me see if he said anything different. No. Okay. Giannis to Warriors, the J011. Welcome to the stream. You came in towards the end. Good TDL, guys. Good stream. But yeah, I don't think Giannis is going there at this point, if I'm going to be honest. But yeah, I'd say it's 3:15. Now, I bet as soon as we call it and end it, Watch Ja gets moved. It's going to be pretty funny, but I doubt it. So I'd say that this is the end of the trade deadline stream. We appreciate everybody for coming out. So thanks, Yarby. Thanks, Untamed. Um, thanks, the J011. Shout out to everyone else as well, right? Miami Heat Zone, Kwekugana 3683. Everybody, we appreciate all the support. Continue to like and subscribe. Follow us at the OBT Podcast on our socials, and we will see you all next time.